What is going on, YouTube? It's the brain of the mainframe here in Nile Scala with the POPXP, and it's the Weekend Pop. And joining me on the POPXP Week crew, Miss Jennifer Van Damsel. We got Caleb Thusat in the house, and the king of streams, Mr. Brian Blevins.
That's me.
What's going on, everyone? How you doing? Caleb, we missed you last week, man.
Yeah, sorry, man. I had a couple things I had to take care of back in my hometown, getting shots in my arm and
man, that's messed up.
Family stuff. But glad to be back.
Glad
Nothing
to have you.
Major
back,
happened. So
nice. So you had a good week otherwise?
Yeah, pretty good. Working on some scripts, putting pieces together for books that are getting made. So, same old grind, but good things are in the works.
Awesome, did you bring me anything back from your vacation?
No.
His vaccine sticker.
Messed up.
He's been vaccinated, and it's autographed by Caleb.
Nice.
From Village Comics. All right, people. Jen, how's your week been? What did you do this week?
I don't know. It's always like a blur. I don't know. I worked on my Jill Valentine costume, so that's cool. I started painting my bedroom. Nice. Got a new dresser, a hot pot, which I'm obsessed with right now. So
love hot pot.
I know.
Love hot pot.
I know.
What's your favorite part of the hot pot? Like, what is your choice of protein?
I like to get the dumplings. They have like a mushroom based soup, and then you just put the dumplings in there and let them kind of soak for a little while. Some hoisin sauce. I could just eat like 50 dumplings. It's great.
Awesome. So we'll see that next week. 50 dumplings down. What's up, man? Fragga?
Fragga boob.
What's going on, brother? Heroinberg, what's going on? How we doing tonight? Era, welcome. Welcome.
Hi, everybody.
Man, I got to tell you, I would love to go for some hot pot. I could really go for that right now.
Yeah.
But I like getting, the steaks and stuff put in there. Blevins, Caleb, you hot pot guys? What's going on here?
No, man. No.
We got a hot pot, bros.
Well, the hot pot parties. Hot pockets.
Hot pockets.
Hot pockets.
What? Man,
Hot
hitting
pockets.
on two fronts. Hot pockets. Well, I got to ask you guys, man,
You didn't ask me how my week went.
Oh,
it's messed up. It's messed up now.
Blevins.
All I want to say is that you know this already, Niall, because I shared it. But a lot of people don't know that I'm a big collector of old retro cartoons, old retro TV shows. And I've been trying to find like all this old obscure stuff. And I found a guy on the interwebs that had the Japanese Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles episodes, and they were amazing. They were amazing.
Did you enjoy them?
I had to trade a lot of stuff for them, but it was well worth it. It was well worth it.
How many of your used underwear did he want?
Oh my god! I don't have any left after that last trade with you now, which was also weird.
Yeah, but I sent you the 12-pack to wear, so I kind of you should still have the balance. You should still have the balance. But I gotta tell you, man, I always want to play a little game. There's always something I always wanted to do, and I was thinking, I love the Would You Rather games, right? But I was like, man, I want to go triple X with this. I want to be adult. I want to get nitty and gritty. But I was like, I'm going to start off a little tame. No, not this week, Jen. We're not going to that level. We'll do something a little tame. So my first random question for the show today, my friends, would you rather control your dreams or watch them the next day? Jen.
Control my dreams for sure. That's not even a hard one. Like, watch them the next day. My dreams are always fucked up. I wake up going like, holy shit, I don't want to watch them the next day. That sounds terrifying.
See, I would want to watch them the next day. You know why? Because most of the ideas that I come up with for writing come from weird, messed up dreams that I have.
That's a good point.
So, like a great.
Didn't think about that.
I know. I took back what I said. Caleb's right. Sorry. I'm gonna go last on these. Okay, don't do me.
Blevins, man.
Definitely, I would rather watch them the next day. I mean, there's been so many times that I had a dream or I've woken up from a dream and been like, man, that was such a great idea, or that was such an awesome deal. And then I go to try to jot it down or whatever it is, but I forget before I do it.
I hate that.
Yeah, I hate it too.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I would rather control my dreams because I wouldn't need to watch them, as I will have remembered what I controlled the night before.
No, that's not how it works now.
You don't know
You
how it
forget
works.
them all.
You can't control and remember.
I'll control my dream.
All right, whatever.
I'm gonna control it because that's just how I want to do it. Because no one really picked that. Because Jen reverted.
I
know,
changed my mind.
She changed her mind, so no.
Yeah.
All right, so our second, would you rather? And this one's another easy one. Would you rather give up Christmas or give up your birthday? Jen?
I don't celebrate either one, so I don't care. Oh, do I have to pick one anyway?
I'm so sad. I'm so sad.
That is just horrible.
I'd rather give up my birthday, I guess.
Oh, I'm sad now.
Well, no,
This game sucks.
I want to keep my birthday because I use it as an excuse to do whatever I want. So
Arrow's down with his birthday.
I
would give up.
I would give up my birthday.
I'd give up my
I would
birthday.
say.
I would give up Christmas because
I
I love my birthday. And Niall knows that I
Screw
love
all
my
you
birthday
guys.
as
I
well.
want presents.
I
make-
remembered your birthday
I
because
make
it's
my
the same
birthday
birthday as Jennifer Van Damsel.
Yeah, my birthday is the same. See, she could trade hers away because like she could live vicariously through my birthday since it's the same day.
Really? What the heck is going on here?
Alien disappeared.
There we go. The Phantom, the StreamYard
yeah,
Phantom has attacked.
I
He
always
gave up his birthday and then he just disappeared.
I don't care at all about Christmas, but man, my birthday, dude, it's on. Like I make a huge spectacle of it online in person. Like I put signs out by the road. Like
He has
Like,
the Blevins tree. He's got the Blevins
dude,
tree.
at the end of the night, we send up like 120 like of those Chinese lanterns to fill the sky, and it's really weird because like sometimes Air Force Base doesn't want to give me clearance to let them go, and I'm just like, hey, look, bro, it's my birthday, and they're like, all right, we'll let you do it this one time. Yeah, bro, 21 years in a row.
What the fuck? I think the bigger question is, Jen, why are you not celebrating Christmas? Is it by choice? Is it a religious thing?
No, I am definitely like my love language is giving gifts. So I give gifts to people like all the time. So Christmas to me, there's no reason to like open up presents. I like do photo shoots and decorate like sets for Christmas. So I don't really give a shit about decorating my house. Like I don't like to put stuff away. So if you decorate it, then you got to take it all down, and that sucks. So
I'm with Jimmy. Birthdays suck after 21. Agreed.
Jimmy, you are more than welcome to your opinion, no matter how wrong it is.
Jimmy is wise. Jimmy is wise beyond his years because he's 22, so he knows.
Nile will understand once you have kids, you only care about Christmas anyway, right? Like your birthday is like ignored, basically.
So. Oh yeah. Especially like my birthday is, like a couple days after Christmas, so no one even cares anyway. It's nobody's big deal. No one really
I guess it depends on where your birthday lies in the year. It depends on how much you love Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Niall gets his birthday presents and Christmas presents at the same time, but not old Blevins.
Nope. Oh, geez, Jimmy. Jimmy's bringing it to another level, man. Man, Jimmy. Man, Jimmy, it's getting dark in here, bro. Turn on the light.
Yeah.
Find the light, Jimmy. All right, I lied. Would you rather constantly have your hand down your trousers or swear in every sentence forever? It's a no-brainer. You can't see my hands, but we can take a guess.
I mean,
this one stumped him. That's weird, right? That's why I read this. I'm like, I have to read this. This one's weird. Like, why would I want to keep my hands? First off, I don't call them trousers.
Of your trousers? It has to be the front of your trousers?
I guess, unless you want to put it in your back.
You can't just like move it around in there and choose a side.
Oh,
no, it just says constantly have your hand down your trousers. No, it just says constantly have your hand down your trousers. Keep your hands in your pants. I guess you can put them wherever you want. Or swear in every sentence forever. What does that even mean? What kind of garbage is this?
I don't know. What kind of garbage is this question?
This is garbage question.
But definitely swear for fucking ever.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm already
Oh, wow.
living that one for the most
Yeah.
part. So
Yeah, apparently
I'd
I
say hands
took a
down my
long
pants, but
time before this.
I try to sell kids books, so that might not work out too well for me.
yeah, neither one of those are good for you.
Yeah, he's selling children's books, so he's probably not really good for that one.
Why has he got his hands on his pants all the time?
This is absurd. That's garbage, Blevins. That was a garbage one.
Hey, look, you chose, bro.
I know. Well, I'm trying. Yeah, I was trying this thing here, right? And it's
Find
shitty questions.
Find another one.
You didn't screen
This
this
is
beforehand?
stupid.
This is embarrassing.
They're random, bro. They're random.
It's on random, yeah.
That's craziness. That is absolute craziness.
What's that did was
I want the triple X ones, but then I was like, oh, these people here, they're not gonna do it.
yeah. All the kids watching this show won't know won't know what's going
Yeah.
on.
I know.
All of them.
Let me ask you a question though. What is your favorite game? Like if you had your party option, right? You got your friends over. What is the ultimate game that you want to play?
We talking
Even
about
though your
board
friends
game,
may not.
video
Yeah,
game,
like
what-
board game, card game, like something like in that realm.
Go ahead, Jen.
Okay, I really love Family Feud. I think that's so fun to do with a big group of people, and you like boo them when they give a shitty answer, and you clap. Oh, good answer. I love Family Feud.
Nice, Caleb.
I like
Junior
things
Monopoly.
Come on. I like things like Cards Against Humanity, where it's like
Cards Against Humanity, like what we're doing right now, basically.
kinda, but a little more risque than that, I guess. So
Do you ever play the one where you draw? It's like Cards Against the Humanity, but then you actually have to draw it on those little like dry erase pads.
no.
That's really awkward, especially when your mom's sitting next to you and you have to draw like someone doing something to someone, and she's like, an elephant eating peanuts. No, Ma, that's not an elephant.
Yeah, that's not how it is.
That's not peanuts.
It rhymes with it.
Merry
though.
Christmas, Ma.
It rhymes with peanuts.
Oh, what would you be playing, Blevins? What would you be playing?
Well, let's see here. Computer-based game, probably Hearthstone, because that's what I play on a daily
basis. That's not
basis.
a party game. That's not a party game.
I'm just saying, card game wise, Magic the Gathering, and then board game wise, probably Stone Age, which is
Stone
my
Age is
favorite
cool.
board. My favorite board game ever.
I like Stone Age.
Yeah.
I would go Ready, Set, Spaghetti. I don't know if you guys ever played that one.
Ready, Set, Spaghetti.
You never played Ready, Set, Spaghetti?
Never
Mouse-
heard of it.
You never heard of it? It was right there with Mousetrap.
Man, that's the craziest game you'll ever play.
That's a nuts. It's a party game, people. Party games. Here, Jen.
What?
You gotta practice your faces.
Wow, so that's a game from Milton Bradley, 1989.
Ready, Set, Spaghetti, right?
Yeah, I've never.
That's a real game. You can only play it once, because once you play it once, everything gets tangled, knotted, and it's freaking garbage. It is absolute garbage after that. It's the worst game. The worst game. It's fun for one time. That's it. And that's all you get with it.
Like it was only in Germany.
No, I had it.
Yeah. I'm reading the facts about it right now.
Ready, Set, Spaghetti was not only in Germany. Jen face. Germany?
Germany?
How did he have it? I don't know.
Milton Bradley Spiel.
Whatever. Those games are garbage anyways. One thing that some people may think could be considered garbage or great. Why don't we talk a little Mortal Kombat?
Mortal Kombat!
Mortal Kombat!
Yeah, that's we're getting a strike because of this.
Oh, shoot. I'm gonna get another suspension.
Hey,
So Mortal Kombat, man, there's been many movies, there's been animated TV series, shows, games, toys, and they brought it back in 2021 with this new higher budget film with great CGI, wonderful scripting, absolutely fantastic film. Jen, what are your thoughts on Mortal Kombat.
Okay, I just want to start this off by saying I actually watched the 90s one the day before I watched the new one.
Both
So
of them or just one?
just the first one.
Mm.
And so when I posted on social media, I asked like, okay, what's your favorite video game adaptation movie? And like 80% of the answers were Mortal Kombat. So I was really excited to read it. And that movie's like not good. It's not good at all. And the new one is like, it's literally the same story, but they made up a new character instead of Johnny Cage. But it's like this, it's the same thing. So for people to say, oh my God, it was like so terrible, but I loved the 90s one. It's the only thing, like, I will say Sonya Blade was definitely way more of a badass in the new one. In the first one, she was like, just like a little bitch, just like so puny, and the way she would like fight was so lame. So they made her a lot better.
Yeah.
And the choreography was like a million times better. But Blevins was right last week. The first 7 minutes is like the best part of the movie, and it gets super hype. And then it's like pretty disappointing after that. But I didn't hate it because the 90s one, it's like the same fucking movie. So
Yeah.
So if you had to choose, though, which film can stay forever? Is it the first one or is it this new one?
oh, the new one, because the choreography is actually good, unlike the first one. So
Yeah. Caleb, what's your thoughts on the new Mortal Kombat?
I liked when Sub-Zero was there and like Scorpion was there at the same time, and outside of that, I could have like not watched the rest of it. But,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it to me, it felt like, you remember that movie Masters of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren?
Dude, you better choose your next words wisely.
Horrible. Horrible.
Oh my God.
It felt like that movie, but with Mortal Kombat guys in it. To me.
Oh my God.
So like,
you need to watch your whore mouth.
I don't know. Like, I felt like kind of robbed because the first 7 minutes was so good that you saw for the trailer, and then it was like immediately just downhill after that.
Yeah.
The one-liners, it was fatalities more than it was fighting too, and I mean it's fine with if that's what you're looking for, but I thought there would be a lot more actual fighting going on in Mortal Kombat, so I was kind of hoping for more, like, dig some more choreography in there. But
when my friends were watching it, I said, I wish there was more fighting. And they're not fans of Mortal Kombat. They were like, that whole movie was fighting. And I was like, no, it's Mortal Kombat. The whole movie should have just been like badass choreography. And then the way they split up the fights, so they're all fighting individually, but they would cut to like fight to fight, and then they would all just like die one by one. But I wanted to see like a big 5 minute per person, like huge melee.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for, and we didn't really get that. So
well, I wanted that tournament action, and they didn't do it.
Well, they kind of did it.
Well, yeah, but not. Yeah, it was crappy,
unfulfilling way.
It was like they were wrapping the movie production, like, oh shit, we didn't do a tournament. So it's like, oh, can't you do it like tournament style?
Raiden, can you help us out?
Yeah. All right, Blevins.
All right,
spill the beans.
Spill the beans. All right, so right off the bat, you know I was hyped for this. Huge Mortal Kombat fan. Like, I was ready for it to happen. When they leaked, or not leaked, but when they promoted the first 7 minutes, I'm like, oh my God, this movie is going to be incredible, right? So I watched the first 7 minutes. The movie has been billed as this big, huge battle between Sub-Zero and Scorpion. And spoiler alert, everybody, I'm giving you a second. Spoiler alert.
There's spoilers, people.
There is no more Sub-Zero Scorpion till the
like
very,
5 minutes
very end. And in the world of Mortal Kombat, they have so many characters. Like, I have no idea why they had to make new ones. Like, why create new ones? And Kano stole the show. Hands down, Kano stole the show.
Oh yeah, his acting was the best.
Every scene he was in, he stole the show. And I don't know what everybody else thought, but one of the biggest things at the time when Mortal Kombat came out, which I think was like 1998 or something like that, or 1989 maybe. I don't remember. It was a while back.
91.
Yeah, 91. Yeah. So
90s.
So like, you know, he was puppeted. You know, he was a puppeted guy, you know, and he didn't look real, and I mean, he looked kind of janky or whatever. But man, I thought they did an incredible job with Goro in this series. Like, I mean, they really did him justice. If only they would have done Mortal Kombat as a whole as justice. You know, I didn't like the idea of them splitting them up to do their faux tournament or whatever it is, and then, you know, they do the faux tournament, and of course, like, all the good guys win.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. And then, dude, the thing that took me out of the movie completely is, like, you know, he beats and kills a guy, and he's like, fatality, flawless victory.
Yeah.
And then like he's like, Kano.
Oh
wins.
God, I hate
Who says that? Who says that?
But the first one had that shit too, so I can't, like, I don't.
Yeah, I know, but what
It
I'm
was
saying
structured
is
different, though.
Yeah,
it was structured
this
different.
This shouldn't have happened, you know? Like, look, when I go to McDonald's, sometimes it's hit or miss if I get a good, like, fresh burger or not. But when I get, like, a really good Big Mac and I bite into it and I know it's super fresh and delicious, like, I'm like, Blevins wins, you know? Like, you know, I don't say that, you know? Like,
it was like a fast food movie, though. It's like you saw you saw the images on the menu, then you went in for that what was on the image, right? And then
and then like
you saw a dude holding his burger with two hands, and you got this little thing that you're like,
the rope-a-dope of this. I mean, even the poster is Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and it was the main focus of the beginning of the show. And I mean, literally had that never got revisited until the absolute end, which was the worst. Like in Sub-Zero,
they should have just made it about Sub-Zero.
I think they're setting up for the sequel, though. I think they're setting up for the sequel, and they used the whole movie
as they learned in life. Like, you know what I'm saying? They have made a bunch of movies in preparation to do a sequel or a trilogy, and the movies failed at step number one and never made it to the sequel point. You know, Punchy was not.
I hate when movies dig in like that. Like, make a movie to stand alone by itself. Don't make it set up the next thing. Like, it still has to stand alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, like let's look at Clive Barker's Nightbreed. Nightbreed, which is a scary movie, and I usually don't watch scary movies, but I loved it because I thought it was amazing. Like, they built that off of a trilogy storyline, but for some reason it wasn't accepted as a mainstay movie, even though now it's a cult classic. Like, so they never got the sequel to Nightbreed. Same as also John Carter, Warlord of Mars. Disney spent like $1 kagillion. That's a real number. That's a real number. $1 kagillion on John Carter, Warlord of Mars with Taylor Kitsch, and like built on doing a trilogy of the John Carter series, and it failed. So we never got to see the follow up of that. I don't know, like.
Yeah, Jimmy says, Sub-Zero is coming back when they showed him in all black at the end. That's foreshadowing for Noob Sailboat.
Like, Sub-Zero is not Noob Sailboat, Jimmy. Yeah, I hated Cole as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, what was up with that? What was up with that
armor stuff?
Yeah, it looked terrible.
And the two batons that were blades. I don't.
And he uses to hit the ice, so he's like, they're literally battling, and he's just like punching ice, and it doesn't even. He's not even like smashing the ice. It's like barely chipping off. So it wasn't even like.
Yeah.
And you guys, what about the Santa Claus coming to town moment? Did you guys like that moment?
What?
Remember,
I didn't catch
like,
that reference.
Look, the snow is coming. And then like Sub-Zero came.
Yeah.
Because it was like
I mentioned that with the whole Sub-Zero. Like I said, he was good, but I mean, he's like the Lin Kuei. He's like a master assassin. Like, why would
he's just like, hey, I'm here. Check out.
Why would he announce himself like that? He would just went in there and be like, "Snuck, you're dead." You know?
Yeah.
Like, sorry, bro, you got murked by the Lin Kuei and the most amazing assassin that had ever lived. But no, we're gonna go ahead and telegraph it, and I'm gonna see you from across the street, like, you know, down into.
And then he throws. He has all those ice powers, but he throws like snowballs at him to stop.
Yeah. Yeah, but man, I mean, the battle of the first intro was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand what I don't understand what the other stuff was, and man, like, just the whole idea that everyone was like when Kano got mad and shot the laser out of his eye, like, and he's just cool with it. Like, I mean, like, when you got people that you hang out with and all of a sudden you create a chest of armor and blades, like, I mean, you should freak out a little bit, but they're just like, hey, cool, look what I got, you know?
Yeah. Nice armor.
Yeah.
Well, they were anticipating it, though. They knew it was coming. They were getting their superpowers.
Well, my big problem is, like, pick a tone, right? If you want to go ridiculous B movie, then just go with it. But, like, don't advertise it as, like, this weird, serious take on Sub-Zero and Scorpion, and then, like, have this weird, unbalanced movie because of it. So,
yeah, it was horrible. And I mean, my favorite character in Mortal Kombat is Raiden, but second to that is Scorpion. I love Scorpion. I was really disappointed. And I agree with Greg. His biggest problem is that Scorpion is advertised a lot in the trailers, and he only shows up till the end. I mean, the first scene I thought was great, right? The first 7 minutes, and I really thought, the Sub-Zero, Scorpion battle was great. I love at least the choreography of that fight, and the fact that he slashed him, freezes his blood, and then stabs him with his own frozen blood. I thought was genius. Whoever thought of that.
Where was the rest of that stuff? You want to know what
that was the best fight
reminds me of?
They rushed everything else.
Let me tell you what it reminds me of. And I know there's a lot of haters that hate Star Wars, right? But I don't know if you remember, like, this big, huge lull in the Star Wars movie. Then all of a sudden we get announced that there's going to be Star Wars Episode 7: Force Awakens, and everybody can't wait for this movie to come out. Star Wars fans are going crazy. People going crazy. Harrison Ford's coming back, Carrie Fisher's coming back, Mark Hamill, like this is great. Like, everybody's crazy about it. And then the first opening sequence, we get to see Kylo Ren. By the way, in case there's anyone in the group that doesn't, this spoiler alert on Star Wars Force Awakens, but the guy goes to shoot Kylo Ren, and Kylo Ren turns and stops the blaster bolt. I don't know if you remember that or not, but he force stops the blaster bolt, which is quite possibly the coolest thing that I've ever seen in Star Wars. You know what I'm saying? Like, he stops the damn blaster bolt. And I'm like, oh my God, this is coming out to be, like, this is going to be incredible. This show is going to be ever. Dude, there was nothing even remotely close to that level of awesomeness. There was not ever any big force powers or any, there was nothing like that. Yeah, absolutely. You're right, Eric. But what I'm saying is, like, they did this incredible thing at the beginning, and then nothing matched up to that. In the whole rest of the series, nothing matched up to it.
Nice smiling, Jen.
I saw my face, and I was like,
well, here's my thing. Since we're talking, these are really franchises that have huge history, right? And this is, I said something on Facebook earlier this week about this too. When you have something with that long of a following, you're going, no matter what you make, you're going to piss a bunch of people off.
Right, absolutely.
There's always expectations one way or the other. It's disappointing to some. I'm sure some people really enjoyed the Mortal Kombat movie for what it was. But, I mean, it just so happens that we were all kind of, a little disappointed. We wanted more from it, but I can tell it's just those franchises have so much history and so much expectation that anything that you make is going to piss some people off.
Yeah. Well, we have a great member of the POPXP team and family, and a good friend of ours who's no stranger to film, television, directing, writing comics and whatnot. And I would love to get his take on this. So everyone, without further ado, please welcome POPXP's very own Adam Lawson to the show.
Gentlemen and lady, how you all doing, folks? How are we doing? Yes. Sorry. I was waiting for some magical text just standing by, but anyways, it's good to be on here to talk.
Now you're dropping the ball. Now dropping the ball.
I sent it to you, brother.
I know, but I was kind of like, you gave like this window, so I was like, when do I? Okay. Anyways, it's good to be here, guys. You should blame Blevins, Nile. Clearly,
I'm gonna blame Blevins. Yeah,
Blame Blevins.
Yes, Caleb, nice to meet you. I think
nice to meet
I think JVD we were on once before, but Caleb, nice to meet you.
Yeah. So, Adam, we have to get your take on this. We have to get your take on this new Mortal Kombat film because Jen loved it.
Good. Jen, you loved it. Well, here's the thing I think I like about it. So, Philip Tan's son is the star of it, and he's one of arguably the greatest stuntmen to have ever lived. And in fact, his other son was in Escape the Night season 3, and amazing stunt player, and it comes from a really incredible legacy of actor stuntmen, which I think is maybe one of Mortal Kombat's great values. Right, is that the performers did the fighting, right? And I love that, and I can really appreciate that aspect of, and they also were building, all these moves that were trying to be signature to the game, which I think was nice. You know what I mean? Is that they were trying to be authentic in the fighting, and I think that Lewis, was trying to really, Lewis Tan is the star. He was trying to, build some sort of signature aesthetic to it. Now, I think where ultimately its real struggle was in its very conceit from a screenplay and a script and a story standpoint, right? Mm-hmm. And because you have, like, for example, Chin Han, who played the sorceress who sucks the soul out,
Shang Tsung.
Shang Tsung, yeah. So in case you're he was amazing. He was in the Marco Polo series. I've loved that guy for a long time. And if anybody doesn't know, I'm a massive Asian cinema fan. It's my favorite. That's what I watch more than U.S. cinema. But like, you have these really compelling performers, but you have a story that's this odd tale, right? Where they're preparing for the Mortal Kombat tournament. And so what's going to happen is Chin's character is going to like sneak around and take out the people before the tournament, right? And this tournament is supposed to decide the fate of Earth, right? So the stakes aren't bad in the idea of a corrupt bad guy, and then Raiden is like the rule keeper. But oddly enough, even though he knows Chin-Han is breaking the rules, Raiden can't just zap him out. Somehow they're able to still get around it. So instead what you have is the Mortal Kombat tournament, just not in the ring, right? You essentially just have people fighting in advance of the actual fight, with the outcome being the same as it would have been if they would have been in the tournament, right? Which was such a disappointment, right? That, like, in a way you were trying to like sneak around, let's fight these guys before the fight, but we're only fighting them the same way we would have fought them in the fight. So it was, so unfortunately, unfortunately, you lose any sort of depth of meaning. And like, they tried with some really nice things. Interesting thing with Sub-Zero's character and Scorpion, right? That Sub-Zero was Chinese, and Sub-Zero's character was Chinese and Scorpion was Japanese, right? And they even had Mandarin and Japanese being spoken, and they're both Han people. And at that time, there's the real separation from China and Japan, and like they tried to like do these kind of like subtle depth things. It just didn't pay off. It just didn't.
I
really,
loved that part of it. I loved the.
I love that they weren't able to understand each other.
They just needed to focus more on that and make that.
That's right.
The movie.
Right, Caleb? Like, that's what I felt too. I'm like, why is that not the movie? Who cares? Unfortunately, who cares? Unfortunately, about Lewis Tan's character, this sort of new character. It's like, wait a minute, guys. Like,
I want to see how Scorpion became Scorpion in the underworld. Right. Like, that's the story.
That's what I thought was going to happen. Like, the anime, I remember I was telling Blevins, right? I was like, when they first showed that 7 minutes, I was like, hey man, that's cool. That's kind of like that animated movie that came out like last year or whatever. I was like, oh, that'd be great if this was actually going to go down that road, and it did not.
It did not, and it was such a shame. And then once again, it's like Scorpion comes in and does the fire blast and wipes out Sub-Zero. One again outside of the tournament.
Yeah. And
he's in hell, but somehow he was just able to hop back out of hell for this. But they're not the official tournament, so how did he get out? And so it's like, this confluence of like, now we're fighting in an MMA cage with ice. It's like, ooh, that's really rough. There was a
little too much Earth for me for it too. Like I wanted more of the other world stuff, right?
Totally agree.
So,
what you didn't come to understand was, the outer realm where Chin Hun's character was at, right? You didn't understand the meaning of that world or why it wanted Earth or what did it even matter. There's 9 realms, like so. What is the incentive for that? Is it that his character had some sort of deep scar with the people of Earth and he was getting revenge? So unfortunately, there was just really no deep emotional tie. And I think where that was executed, unfortunately, in the directing and writing, which really was a disservice to it. For example, Louis Tan's character, right? He's an MMA fighter taking a $200 fight that is no pads on the fists. So it's a totally illegal fight, right? Mm-hmm. And for the record, anybody who's ever fought an unprotected fist, you look like hamburger afterwards. And they have a guy who's very handsome in like fresh, clean clothes, beautiful wife and teenage daughter.
Great hair.
Taking that $200 fight. Yeah, he's got amazing hair. I mean, the guy is a good-looking dude. I mean, that guy does not have an issue in the good-looking department, right? I think Jen can agree like that he doesn't have trouble getting a date. And that's not his issue, right?
To be Jen, jeez.
Jen, what do you think about that, Jen?
Yeah, I mean,
My husband's gonna be offended.
Yeah.
So you like the idea that he's like a down-and-out guy taking a fight at that level, and it's like. And like, what's the payoff? Because then his fighting style ends up being a tonfa and a blade, right? Mm-hmm. Which is absolutely not UFC. So there's no connection. It was like I was waiting for that with Sub-Zero and Scorpion. Like, could I see really proper wushu versus really proper aikijitsu? So it was Japanese and Chinese styles that are really distinct.
Yeah.
But it didn't end up the game, and it didn't end up real fighting. It ended up kind of this space in between, which is really disappointing. So, but do you see just by the way that he has like nice clean clothes, everybody's nice and clean, and yet here we are, this dirty fighter taking a $200 fight with no pads. Do you know what you look like after a no pad fight? the repair bill in your face, So that that was just a clear miss in like building a real tone. And then, for example, you take a look at Sonya, the actress playing Sonya's character, really nice Australian girl, but that do you believe that she's tough? Absolutely not. She doesn't look like a woman of CrossFit, and she doesn't look like Chris Cyborg, and so it feels like man. And then she's kind of oddly ostracized, and it's like shoot, like why doesn't she have the grit of somebody who's done 3 tours of duty and has gotten her nose broken multiple times, right? That says there's just no grit in the film, even though these guys are fighting to the death, right?
Yeah.
And then you have this Sub-Zero, Scorpion story, which is so interesting. And then it just kind of like fades because Scorpion's dead. And then right near the end slips in. So from a writing standpoint, it's like, Louis Tan's struggle is what? He's broke. That's it. Yeah. He's not like, I'm a failure and I'm not living up to my dad's expectations, and if I win Mortal Kombat, I'll be a hero. It's just, no, he's just a down on his luck guy.
Yeah. I got a symbol on my, right? I got a symbol and I don't have any money. Like, there's no compelling story there for that character. It's like they set you up with this really great story that you want to see, and then they're like, nope, never mind. Like, we'll give you that.
Right.
It's like, man.
Right, Caleb? And you're like, you had all that historical ammunition. You had this cool bit, like it's like Chinese-Japanese fighters right at that time in Han history. It's like, wow. And then lost. And then what is really the shame, I think, from an actual like dialogue standpoint, right? Is you have a film that could not have overused the F word anymore, right? it just like this endless overuse of the F word. This Kano has half the dialogue in the film, right? He says half the words in the film. He's just constantly talking and running his mouth.
It was great, though.
And here's the thing. He was entertaining.
Yeah.
He was entertaining and fun. Yeah. But it's like, he can't be the dialogue engine of this film. He does all of the talking. And then, Louis Tan shows up, to Sonya's house, And he's like, hey, what is this? And she's like, well, let me tell you about this tournament. She whips out the whole history of the tournament, and we get this like quick monologue, and it's like, that's it? You've been tracking this thing through 1,000 years through history, and we have like Mortal Kombat poorly photoshopped into that? How did this happen?
Backwards and
Man.
And he's like, it's not even spelled right.
And it's just like,
I know me and my wife and daughter almost got killed, but this guy can't spell.
It just like doesn't make. There's no shock to anything, which got me. Like
No.
at least like even in like the first movie, there's a little like they were just kind of like really like what is going on. They were like befuddled about everything that was happening.
Do you think there may have been an actual language barrier though that made it so that Kano and them were the only ones?
No,
that had
Louis
that
Tan is
dialogue?
Louis Tan is an American.
Well, I'm
and
not
grew up
and he spoke a lot as well, you know.
Yeah, but what I mean is like the other characters, when you hear their interviews, lots of them are Australian, and I don't think it had anything to do with language barrier. Chin Han has like he did the entire series out Genghis Khan in English. I don't think there was any like what you would consider a very realistic language barrier, right? But so as a result, you just get like a lot of jabber in the movie and not heart, right, Caleb? You don't get like,
Yeah, man. It's
and we don't even really know why Sub-Zero hates Scorpion.
Yeah,
It's not even bad.
never told that
Like you
story.
said, they're good actors. They
These
just
are
have
great
a bad
actors.
script. I mean,
Totally.
there's
Oh,
nothing
and
to
it's
say.
and,
I mean,
and what's crazy about it is Joe Solemn, who plays Sub-Zero. I mean, this is a world-class martial artist, right?
Yeah.
Incredible. And also a world-class actor. And then you give him like, I'm Sub-Zero. That's it.
Zero.
And why do you hate this Japanese man? Is there a racial like government like feud between Japan and China, which is a real thing in real life, and as well like
Got it,
and so it's just like
exactly.
and then I agree with you. Then like Louis Tan's character, he gets teleported places via electricity. He meets a 4-armed giant, and he's like, I got this. It's like there's no like. You don't have this. You just met a guy who shoots lightning and a 4-armed giant. You don't have this. You're in emotional shock, you know?
Well, then the wife gets the axe and she's like, fuck this. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, yeah,
She's
bitch,
like-
awesome.
Yeah.
And everybody else was just like,
They should have just
Yeah.
went
Well,
full
right.
Terminator with it and had
Yeah.
Sub-Zero
Yeah.
trying to off everybody like Terminator, and then they could have at least you
But
would
see,
have
but what?
one driving thing's pulling the story forward.
Because what you didn't understand though was how does Chin Han's character recruit people? So from Raiden's side, they get born with the mark, right? Well, how does the other guy recruit his people? Like, how are people selected for the tournament? Because it's like, how does that even work? Because it's like, why does Sub-Zero care about the tournament? The guy's 500 years old, or 400 plus years old, so he's an immortal of some kind. Like, I think it was just such an under-realized story.
Yeah.
I have this beam of light on my face. I'm gonna lean back here.
That's cool.
And so it was just heartbreaking to be like, you have all this great story and myth just slipping through your fingers, and we ended up with
it
like
just
a
never
bunch.
was realized.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say like the biggest thing about it is Raiden. They were in the temple to keep from Shang Tsung's people coming in and killing him before the tournament was over, right? So they were trying to stop what he was trying to do, but inevitably, what ends up happening is Raiden, who is supposed to be the guy to uphold the rules, like sets up the deals so that all the heroes murder all the bad guys.
Yeah.
I know it was so weird.
Going
Yeah,
back
I mean,
against its own rules.
He definitely did not live he definitely lived long enough to see himself become the villain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and also, and the thing what's funny about this is what I couldn't understand was the extent of Raiden's power, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Raiden's never going to allow this. So is Raiden kind of like a master of that ceremony? Meaning, what's weird is that Chin-Han's characters could even just show up anyways and attack people, right? Because like, if they could just show up from out around, like why didn't they just show up 5 years ago? Why did they, why show up 2 weeks before the tournament if you could show up at any time? So, but what I think that's so odd about that is like, if there would have been some magical barrier that's like Outworld people and Earthworld people can never interact except this at this tournament, right? Portal opens just this tournament, and it's only this window, right? And so that we could somehow motivate the need for the tournament versus just any other time, right? Because why wait for the tournament? If you could always come to Earth and kill people, you'd just hey, you at birthmark, boom, we're out. Right? Why bother for the tournament? Whereas instead, if it's like the tournament is the window, it opens, and in this arena, and it's all controlled by prophecy. So, whereas if so, that there was a force greater than Shinhan, greater than Raiden, right? That was, so to speak, it was God. It was the force of gravity, right? That they had to obey. Then you could have felt like there was some, here's a structure to this tournament. Whereas the tournament just felt so unstructured. So I think, Caleb, you're talking about it, I think you felt this too, is that like, from a writing standpoint, they didn't hone in on what was the heart of our story, which is Sub-Zero and Scorpion, right?
Yes,
and that's what I think we were everyone was banking on.
Yeah, we had a comment saying we're asking too much out of one movie, but I just was asking for a coherent storyline at this point. Like, if they would have focused on that Sub-Zero Scorpion conflict, then it would have been just a great movie. Or just pick some path instead of hopping around. And they were trying to do too much with the movie, really. And you can't cover all the history of that many years of building up games and characters in a 2-hour movie. So you have to kind of pick a cool storyline to tell that kind of reveals the history of what's going on, and then you can go off of that if you want to do a sequel. But I don't think we're going to get that.
It was exactly like the 90s one. The plot was like exactly the same with almost exactly the same character. So if they've already done that, I don't understand why they just did that again, because it wasn't good the first time. So I don't know.
Mortal Kombat's like story, like if you go off video games, there's not much story there besides the fact that it's a tournament. And then kind of what they've done in the past, I think it's been such a big gap between films that it's almost like I feel like they wanted to like rejuvenate the cinematic universe of Mortal Kombat because they are doing a second movie. That's happening. But it just seemed it started off great. I'll be honest, anyone get confused when like Raiden takes the baby? I thought he was the baby, and like I'm like, wait, we're like 500 years apart here. So I didn't realize that we were talking like a bloodline. I thought, we were seeing the baby growing up getting his ass beat in a cage.
Wait, who did you think the baby was?
What's his name?
Cole?
Yeah, Cole.
Lewis Sands.
It was his sister, though. Said it was his sister. How could it have been Cole?
I know, but it was...
No,
in the first 7 minutes, he said, hey, go look after your sister.
No, right. But when they go back... Like, it was weird. Like, he takes the baby, and then we're going to see this guy fighting. And it's like, you see him fighting. You see a little girl, though. You see him, he's with a woman. It's like, who's the baby? Like, where are we in time? You get what I'm saying? So it's like, where are we in time? And that's what I, like, right off the bat, I was like, where? Wait, I was like, because that seemed like ancient, Japan or whatever. Like, it just didn't add up. And then from there, it went downhill. And then at the end, I thought it was all right with this Sub-Zero Scorpion fight.
Yeah.
That came out of nowhere.
Here's what I should honestly say. I don't think it was too much to do with one movie. Because I think that there's probably 10 scenes you could have cut from that movie and never missed a beat. You didn't need the reptile assassin.
Nope.
You didn't need half of Kano's dialogue. You didn't need, you didn't necessarily need all this, like, maneuvering around or like with what Shinhan is up to. What I'm saying is, if at the core of it, if you had opened this film, it's the fight. It's Sub-Zero and Scorpion, and this is their struggle, right?
Yeah.
And that it is them, because what does Sub-Zero do? And you realize what their problem is, and Sub-Zero then makes a deal with Shinhan's character, and as a result, he has this immortality, right? He has this immortality, and he becomes this guardian. And then we flash forward to this future, right? Like, and that essentially Sub-Zero has been hunting Scorpion's bloodline, right? And somehow Lewis Tan's character has escaped Sub-Zero, right? And so it's this like endless war that could have gone. That we could have focused this around, right?
That's definitely.
And then so Sub-Zero is coming to kill Lewis Tan and Lewis Tan's daughter, because that would be the end of the bloodline, right? And then Scorpion is, it makes this heroic moment and Shield gets in the way, right?
Yeah.
But so there is some direct conflict, because what's odd is like, it's hard with Sub-Zero. You set that up that he is the person with the personal hatred, but then you've got Chin Han's character who's just, like, why does he care? It's so disconnected, and if you would have kept that grounded, you could have done so much. You could have done so much. So, anyways, I think that's the shame of it. That it was just ill-conceived, and then the execution of it, albeit like well shot, beautifully lit, good actors. Save for maybe our Sony character.
Yeah, definitely think we're going to have a Godfather 2 moment.
Yeah, I hope
the sequel is going to be infinitely better than the original.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
So I'm not holding my breath on that one.
Also, I'm surprised that Scorpion, like when Sub-Zero killed Scorpion in the beginning, I'm surprised that they didn't show that he had the dragon mark. Mm-hmm. That would have probably told us that his line carried that, because that was one of the whole points that Raiden was saying, your bloodline carries this on down the way. Well, who had it? Who had it back then? I didn't see it until Cole had it.
Yeah, I like Stona. A middle schooler's fan fiction brought to the screen. Yeah. That's what it was. Well, hopefully they bring it back. I mean, I would have loved to see, like we've said, 10 times so far, Sub-Zero and Scorpion. We'd like to see how that whole saga even started. How did this beef develop? How did they develop into the immortal characters they basically turned into, and built up, the other characters maybe in the background of their fight. Hopefully the second coming of that movie definitely will do that. But
I mean, it's going to Johnny Cage. It's going to Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to get Johnny
Ryan
Cage.
Reynolds. What's up, Ryan Reynolds?
There you go. Hey, Adam, what do you think, if you had to choose, though, out of the original Mortal Kombat and the newest Mortal Kombat, because it's basically a remake of the original, if you had to keep one, which one would you keep?
I would think from an entertainment standpoint, I think we were entertained by the first one more. Mm-hmm. I think if I were to stay, because the first one was just so silly, right? It was so silly, you just accepted the silliness of it. Mm-hmm. Whereas this one kind of ended up a bit in the middle. Now, if I were to say, do I appreciate the cast of this new one a lot more? The cast was miles ahead.
You mean you didn't like Christopher Lambert as the?
I mean, Christopher Lambert's a great actor. It's just,
I think.
No, he's a great actor, but
it's just an odd choice. He's just not Chinese. It's so weird.
It's so weird.
It's so weird. Yeah.
So when it comes to Raiden, I really think there can be only one.
Yeah.
And it has to be Christopher.
Yeah.
And that's Jen's favorite Mortal Kombat character, by the way.
No, it's
Mortal Kombat.
Raiden's not your favorite Mortal Kombat character?
No, I'm just a poser. I like the design, so that's why I made that.
So who is? All right. So So who then is Jen's true favorite Mortal Kombat character?
Okay, I will say I didn't know she was going to be in the movie, and when I saw the wings, I was like, audibly gasped. So Natara was in the movie. She looks nothing like that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
No.
I remember when I got my Xbox and I got the new Mortal Kombat. That's I think that's the first time that I was like, damn, that thick chick be looking so good. I was like, I was obsessed with her. She's my favorite character. So hot. And then she's in the movie, and then she gets totally annihilated. He jumps on her
worse than anybody else.
And then the way she dies, she didn't even fight. It was so lame. So that was my biggest disappointment of the whole movie. They put my favorite character in it. She didn't even look cool, and then they killed her immediately. So
she died in a pretty awesome way too.
She a thick girl.
I liked it.
She a thick old girl.
Not in the movie though.
No,
it was a string bean.
Yeah, I know.
She was a mosquito. She was a mosquito flying around, and they swatted her in 2 seconds.
She was big enough to ride.
Disappointing.
I was
She
really
was big enough
upset.
to ride.
Man.
Well, she was. Whoa, hey, hey now, Blevins.
What do you mean?
Said she was big enough to ride.
Yeah, she was. He hopped on her back and rode her.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
You missing
awesome.
something?
So, Adam,
So-
was this a popped or not for you, my friend?
unfortunately, this is a not. It's a not popped. Not popped, which is a shame because I was very hopeful. I was very hopeful,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it had the pieces there, and it was just poorly assembled. It was just poorly assembled.
Yeah, Jen. So it was a no-go for you. No popped or not. What do you? What is this for you?
I did not pop, but I can't say it didn't pop because it's like the 90s version. So everybody's like, oh, I love the 90s version. It's like the same thing with better choreography and costumes. So, I mean, I didn't hate it. I wasn't like, I was disappointed, but I didn't like absolutely hate it because I watched the 90s version right before that. So it was, my expectations were low for most of the movie, I guess, but.
I wasn't like. I'll be honest. After I watched it, I was like, I didn't feel like I wasted my time. To be honest, I was like, oh, that's some cool stuff in it. But I didn't feel like I wasted my time. It didn't pop for me though. I wouldn't give it the popped rating,
No.
the exclusive popped rating. But Caleb,
in
man,
fact,
I agree. There were things I liked, and I didn't like go away saying I hated this movie. But
Yeah.
It was definitely not something I'm going to be like watching over and over again. If I'm going to watch something, maybe I'll go watch Masters of the Universe.
That's right.
I feel like we don't even need
Right.
to ask Blevins. It's on his face. He just looks worn out from this, just like this.
No, I gotta-
It's like, are we
I
still talking
I got
about
a
this
phone
thing?
call and I gotta get on another conference call here in like 3 minutes.
All
But I want to say that the best way to describe is I think that this was a flawed victory.
Oh!
It wasn't a flawless victory. It was a flawed victory. I think they did it.
Nice.
I think they did a good job the way they wanted to tell the story. I do not think it was 100% good. I pray to God that next, the sequel, we don't hear anybody go, "Oh, Blevins wins," or like
No, they gotta say babality.
Yeah. I hope none of that. I hope none of that ends up happening. I hope that I hope they really, for how serious they tried to take it. Those moments took me out of the movie.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't understand why they had to be there. Like
It
nobody.
didn't know its tone. It's like
I mean-
it didn't know which tone it wanted to go with. It's
Yeah.
strange.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true. But hey, everyone out there that's watching, that's maybe watching this recorded too, keep an eye out because we're going to start having some new Popped or Not reviews with our boy
Popped or
Adam
Not.
Lawson, Blevins. What did I say?
Captain.
Adam Lawson.
Oh, Adam Lawson. Yeah. Popped or Not reviews.
Popped or
They're
Not?
coming back. They're coming back, people.
I like
Billy?
it. I like it.
Blevins.
No, not me.
Adam.
Yeah,
It's
Pat-
I wasn't
Blevins is
invited.
back though.
Actually, we are
Blevins
going to
is
have
back?
a new Blevins is back. And we have a new addition to the Popped or Not reviews, the queen of hated it, Jen Van Damsel.
I mean,
Jen, let's
didn't
get
get to
you
talk.
on.
I hate that we didn't get to talk Falcon Winter Soldier.
I
You
know.
know, I hate that we didn't
Well,
get to talk that. and-
you know what? It was.
I haven't seen it.
It was kind of friends with Mortal Kombat. It felt like it was good friends with Mortal
Yeah.
Kombat.
well, I'm
So-
definitely ready to discuss the emotional roller coaster that Mighty Ducks Game Changers has taken me on.
For real, man. I don't
Dude,
think it's
man,
hitting
it's
anyone as
rough.
hard as it's hitting
With
the
the
I don't
Blevins.
know what is.
Mighty
I don't know what is going on, but I haven't cried this much since.
He's now sponsored by Kleenex.
Yeah, Jesus.
There'll be an unboxing
Nice.
video next week on the latest in Kleenex.
Fuck.
But hey, Adam, thanks so much for joining us on
Of course,
the Mortal
gentlemen.
Kombat review. We
Hold on,
appreciate
wait.
you
I have
popping
one
in.
question for Adam real
Yes,
quick.
yes,
So you
yes.
said
Oh, yeah,
you're
Jen.
super into Asian cinema.
Yeah.
Have you seen Thirst?
I have seen Thirst, and it's
Did you like it? That's like
spectacular.
my favorite one.
I love Thirst. One of my favorites. If you're looking for another recommend, because
Yeah.
Thirst is like sexy revenge, like this
Yeah.
crazy cool tale.
Yeah.
I think, which is it just like it really says like this is cool, like what Asian cinema has some unique aspects to it. A couple of my favorites are The Man from Nowhere.
Oh, I love that one.
Oh, you love the film? Okay, yeah, I just love that film so much.
Yeah.
Obviously, Old Boy, not the Spike Lee one. Forget that happened. No. It was like and then like Sympathy for Lady Vengeance, his whole lineup. And then if you're looking for something like that's brand new, current, Alice in Borderland.
Dude, great show. Great show
on Netflix. Jen, I think you will love it.
Interesting.
Okay.
I think you will love it.
Know.
Yeah, Blevins has said really great things about it. I only got through episode 1 and haven't re-engaged that.
Yeah, which is horrible.
Yeah, it's
not working.
I
for me.
love.
I
Is that working for you? Alice in Borderland's not working for you.
Blevins, thank you. Have a great night. Yeah, we'll have to give that a shot. Well, you know what, Jen? Give it a shot. Let us know your thoughts. I personally couldn't get into it, but
you couldn't get into it.
Maybe I'll give it a couple more episodes. I really didn't give it a fair shot. The first episode didn't work for me.
Oh, I thought it was.
But Adam, I trust you.
Yeah.
I trust you deeply.
Try a couple episodes. If you hate it, then you hate it. But you should try The Kingdom as well.
I'm watching that right now. I watched the first episode.
Yeah, I heard that's
Isn't that cool, Jen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's like, the period drama piece, period zombie piece, it done so well. Anyways, love it.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, Adam, thanks so much for hanging out with us.
All right,
it's
take
always
care,
a
guys.
pleasure, and we will see you on POPXP soon.
Bye.
Nice guys. Bye-bye.
All right, have a good one.
Nice meeting you.
All right, so everyone, we're going to take a little break from movies, television reviews, things like that. I'm going to bring on another quick guest, a good friend of mine, a good friend of the show, has been supporting us since day one. I met him through my partner, Billy Tucci. He's a fantastic author, comic book writer. He is the Overstreet Comic Book Price Guide, Mr. J.C. Vaughn. Everyone, please welcome to the show. Hey, what's going on, JC?
Hey.
Hello, all.
How are you this evening?
I heard there was some pop culture going on.
There's a little bit of pop culture going on tonight, just a little bit. We got a little heated, I don't know if you're a Mortal Kombat fan.
I gotta say, it's great that you're back from your banishment and you guys are back live.
I know. It's fun now. We're just spreading the word.
And I would just like to say that I've been there since day 0, not day
actually, you
1.
have been there since day 0. The test streams, all the other stuff. You even became
the whole
known
origin
as
of Frozen Bald Guy, as I recall.
Yes. And you've got some great stuff. I actually, have something fun here that we can talk about in a little bit. But you've got some awesome stuff going on right now. Great book that just got funded, and you're fulfilling. And that's one thing that's really cool about your books and stuff that you have is you fulfill really quick.
I will tell you, I haven't even sent the update. We finished fulfilling today.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Very cool. So what brings you on today? What do we got?
Well, I have 2 things out this week. One is a personal project and one is an Overstreet project. Nice. The long stewing, almost COVID destroyed, but not quite. Bedtime Stories for Impressionable Children, king size giant special annual #1.
Very nice.
Which we doubled this because COVID destroyed our original schedule. We made it double sized instead. And so it's 48 pages. And all sorts of fun contributors on it. And then we have the Overstreet Guide to Grading Comics, which came out on Wednesday as well.
Oh, very good. Now that our good pal Billy Tucci did an unboxing of.
I saw that. It was very great. First off, Billy's absolutely right when he was saying that if you were going to submit to CGC or CBCS, and you should have an understanding of what you're going to get back, so you don't have unrealistic expectations. You're sending in a 6.0 and thinking you've got a 9. These are it's a good thing. It's easy to learn. It's easy to teach yourself. I taught myself by working on several editions back. I hate how many years, but it really is something that once you do, you can get a real handle on really quickly and have, like I said, reasonable expectations of what you're getting back from the grading services. Yeah. Also, if you're going to trade comics, sell, buy, trade, uncertified, you need to know what you've got.
Yeah, no, that's true. Those are. I actually have the 5th edition of it. So this is the 6th edition.
Yeah, that's coming out. The terminology hasn't changed very much at all. There's some updates on some definitions, and we have an extensive article about a really popular niche. Hello, Stone Abdullah. The Canadian price variants and price variants in general are a very popular niche right now, and we've got a great price guide on all the price variants that were done. You know, they would leak out, Marvel particularly would leak out price increases by regions. And that's why there's the 35-cent Star Wars #1 that's worth so much money, and things like that. And being able to spot those, and we have a very comprehensive article on that, as well as, you know, some tidbits on different ways to collect.
Oh, nice. And you know, so besides that, and working for doing your stuff with Gemstone and the books out there, I mean, let's I want to pop this up because this is still available for anyone that wants it. Second Wednesday, this is your debut novel.
Yeah, isn't that funny? After like 50 books.
Yeah.
After 50 books, I've got a debut novel.
Yes.
And it really is, you know, it's my adopted hometown of Hearst, Texas. Where the murder rate has like skyrocketed to something like 3/4 of a person a year. It's like out of control. And I'm doing what I can to add. And we did what I needed to do to get it done on the Kickstarter and Indiegogo. We're continuing in demand, I think probably for another maybe week and a half. Before I came on tonight, I was sitting here working on my next Kickstarter. Which will be on Indiegogo as well, and that's because crime comics weren't hard enough to sell. I figure I'll do a romance book, and it's the almost story of my second year in Texas. I moved in the middle of high school, and there's enough truth in it that it's honest. I definitely glossed over and made myself look better. It's definitely
so this is so this is based on true events.
I will say the dreaming portion of this story is absolutely based on a true event.
Oh, fantastic! That's cool. So when do you expect that to hit?
I think probably something like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I just got a killer. I don't know how well this is going to show up, but a killer piece back from the printer for a foil cover. And like I said, I don't know how well this is going to show up, but it's holographic.
Oh yeah, hey, there you go. There you go.
And
that's cool.
Yeah, and so we got to work out a few color things on it, but cool. Once I get that set, you know, we'll probably start. I like to be in a position where I'm close to ready to print when I kick off the thing, and I feel like very fortunate about the support that we've had for the other projects, and particularly because, you know, doing one thing like a superhero comic or an action comic, a war comic, or anything else like that, I'm just throwing a bunch of stuff out there, so it's a little harder to find the same audience until they get that I have a certain approach.
Yeah,
and I've been able to do that a little bit, which has sort of been fun, and I really, you know, I had a blast doing the novel. I'm already working on the second one.
Oh, very well. And actually, and this novel took a while to do, right? You were on and off with this for quite some time.
Yeah, you know what I did? I wrote a draft of it in about 3.5, 4 months, quite a while back, and then I started listening to. Alex Segura is one of the co-presidents of Archie, and he's also a mystery novelist. And I started listening to the audiobooks of his Pete Fernandez series. And there was something about his cadence. He wasn't the reader, but the reader reading his stuff.
Yeah.
That just grabbed me, and like, man, I can do this. Nice. And so between him and Robert Goldsboro, who took up Rex Stout's mantle as the author of Nero Wolfe, between the two of them, which are very different, I just said, man, I can do this. And I sat down and really did several drafts of it in and around all my other projects. And I had some great readers, including our friend Old Cap, Jason Odom, and just really went after it. Did probably my harshest editing of myself ever. Quite the learning experience. You know, like the first draft, I read it and I'm like, oh, didn't I think I was clever? And this one I read and I'm like, yeah, I sort of like it. Maybe a few years from now I won't like it, but right now I like it.
Yeah. You know, it's good. And I got to say, I know this was so funny, but so I did a mail call video when this came in, right? And I grabbed the book and I'm like, this feels so nice. It feels nice. And I have this like, I just like the way things feel. And you know, like when a book feels good in your hands, the cover feels nice.
Since you and I have talked about this, I want to ask Jen and Caleb, do you guys feel the same way about this? About like when a book feels good?
Oh, I don't. I don't like reading digital stuff. Actually, I would much prefer to spend the money and go buy a physical thing. I don't really enjoy reading anything digital.
I'm the same way. People give me the digital things and they just get lost, and then I want, like, it's different. Like, even when you would, that's what I miss about shows so much over the past years. Like going and picking up the books off the table and feeling what you're going to get, or you know, handing someone one of your books and they can actually see what they're getting.
I have two. I totally agree, Caleb. I've got two things. Jen, to your point about digital, my nephew, I did my level best to not influence him on whether he would like digital or print comic books. And I often say he was born stealing his dad's cell phone to play video games. I mean, like, he popped out, grabbed the phone, started playing, right? Doesn't like digital comics.
So even like the smell of books, just like
the
smell of it, it's just so.
And a few years ago, I was talking to Paul. Books feeling good in your hand, and he said that's an actual book industry term, good hand. Yeah, it feels like it's supposed to.
Yeah. Well, it almost like I have this book here, right? This is a book that has a lot of my notes for the story I'm writing, and I feel this book, right? It almost feels cheap and chintzy, right? I don't need this. It's gone, you know. But then I feel this book, you know, Second Wednesday by J.C. Vaughn, and it feels good. Actually, it doesn't feel like a cheap paperback book. And I like it really does. Like, if you get like, this feels like a sturdy book when you're reading it.
Niall, I really appreciate saying that, and that truthfully is one of the first comments you made when you did your opening thing. And honestly, I really appreciate it because I worked with our printer to do that. I sent them examples of what I was talking about, and we did our best to approximate that. I like the size, I like the format, I like the paper stock, I like the way the paper stock feels for the page count, and there's a smidge of a difference in the spine width on that edition because it has the insert pages for the color illustrations for that edition, and you know, I just love. I like how it came out. If I did, you know, other people are going to have to speak to the writing.
Yeah.
There you go, right there.
Well, what's cool about that, I like the insert idea. You know, I know books in the past have had it, but what's great about the insert idea, and anyone out there that may be looking to write a novel or do anything, it's kind of cool because you start reading about the characters in the book, right? And your mind automatically starts building what these characters look like, what their voices sound like, and all that stuff. But what's neat is, say you did get a copy of this and you didn't realize there's inserts in it, or the fact that you may not be, you know, looking at them regularly because it takes technically the 91st page in this book is your first insert. Yeah. You now have an image of who these characters are.
Yeah, and I hope that's not too disruptive. I know that there's a downside to that for somebody. There's a possibility that I break them out of what they were thinking. And that's not my intent, obviously. Yeah. And that's why there's a regular edition of it too. Yeah. But when they started releasing the Parker books, well, they only actually ended up doing one of them. Darwin spot illustrations for the original novels that never had previously had hardcover editions. And I was so in love with that. And then, of course, you know, common sense got the best of me. Like, hey, I don't need to print a hardcover. Nobody knows who I am yet. You know, and it would have just been a vanity thing rather than trying to get the project out there, kind of thing. Yeah. But it was the same impetus. I just loved what Darwin did, and I really had a blast working with each of the illustrators. You saw like the page after you showed was John K. Snyder III's one of Sergeant Molesby, and he just did 8 Million Ways to Die a couple ago, adapting Lawrence Block's book, and it's the best graphic novel of his career, and I just love that, and getting to work with all these people was just a blast.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Who gets to call up Alex Saviak and say, "Will you do a page for me?" Just
JC Vaughn can't.
Apparently I can. Who knew?
Apparently. So yeah, no, and I gotta ask because I'm a huge fan of this Vampire PA. Where do we stand? I need the next book. You left me hanging.
I am so happy that you asked because I actually have 3 pages of the new one.
Oh, really?
It is called Al Capone Vampire #1. It's a Vampire PA miniseries.
Nice.
And as Al is taking over Chicago again, it's easily the most violent thing I've ever read.
Nice.
Awesome.
In 3 pages, I think I killed like 9 people, maybe 15. I don't know. It's really something else. And but it absolutely continues the story from the Bite Out of Crime one shot. And the script for #1's done. The guys have it. They're working around their Sonia Devereaux assignments. And that I'm real excited about that. I've got a couple other projects too that are in the gestating stage that are really cool. And aside from that, we are nowhere near a green light yet, but we have completed our script for our pilot with Roddenberry Entertainment, and we're coming down the final stretches on the Bible for it too.
Oh, wow.
So then they'll start shopping it to the networks, and a million things go wrong between now and then. But it's exciting to get to this stage.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. I can't wait to find out what it's all about. Well, good luck with that. Good luck with that. And everyone, if you're interested, head on over to Indiegogo, where Second Wednesday is still in demand. You can get the standard edition for $20. There's the limited edition with the inserts is available as well still.
Hey, Lyle, I'm sorry to interrupt, but let me ask you a question. What did you think of the digital extras?
Oh, the digital extras. I love digital extras. Those were great. And do they get the digital extras still?
Yeah, absolutely. They would still get that. There's 3 short stories and one audio short story.
Nice. The audio, I didn't listen to the audio one yet.
Didn't you?
I did not listen to that
it's
yet.
Less than 9 minutes. I know you're busy. Come on, man.
I know. But I'm being honest. I could lie, but we don't do that here at the POPXP.
I know you don't. And that's why you're such a valuable
I have not listened to that yet, but I will. And I'll add that in the review video for the book.
Thank you.
We'll add that in there. See, I'm not that bad.
That's awesome.
I'm not that bad a guy. But hey, JC, thanks so much for popping in.
I would like to say thank you for being on tonight. Thank you. I'm so glad you guys are back live. I think that you guys have, aside from being friends, have a great channel, and it was very much missed. Listen, I love watching the taped ones, man. No problem that the recorded ones, but I love the energy of the live one. I love the chat in the live one. There's always guys like Heroinberg and Stone Abdullah and so many other folks that are just really out there making it fun. So, at any rate, thanks for having me on, and go to it, folks.
All right, awesome. Have a great night, JC. Thanks for popping in.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I love that man.
Yeah, he's so nice.
He's awesome. He's a great creator, nice guy, great advice. Definitely one of the good guys out there. And Caleb, if you're ever at a show and you see him, I mean, if you can ever get down with a cup of coffee or tea with him, he's just a great person to talk to on every level. I've
seen him at shows before.
Yeah,
honestly, he's very recognizable to me for some reason, but maybe it's just from watching.
Well, it could be from the show because he does come on a lot, and now that we're back to live and stuff, we'll be seeing him pop on a lot more, especially with some of these really cool guests we have lined up for our like mainstream stuff, like the real big names in the industry. So that'll be fun to get him back on with those. But we have to get back to business, people. We have to get back to business. Now, I know that Jen watched this. This was brought up by Frank Amazing, not Incredible Frank or Frank Incredible. That's not his name. We're not confusing the world with that. But did you check out Shadow and Bone on Netflix?
I watched the first episode.
I watched the first episode as well, and I wanted to watch the second, but I didn't because that was not the rules.
Yes, I did the same thing.
I didn't watch the second one either, but I was riveted. I have to say, the first episode was really good, and I mean, it just put together.
Jen's face is changing. She doesn't agree. She was like smiling, and she's like, "Oh, you liked it." I really
liked it. I liked the production design. I like the setting. I like that they're like mixing like Western with fantasy. It struck the right chords for me as for a show. So I'm interested.
Now, are you familiar with the comic book or the graphic novel?
No.
I'm not either, and I know Frank was, and he recommended it to us when we were doing our little business meeting for what to do for the show. And I really like the concept of it. I need to see like the next episode though, because the first one I was like, all right, all this crazy stuff's happening. But I love the design of it. I love the whole. Spoiler alert. The ships.
Oh yeah,
the ship type vehicles, right? Because they're not on water.
It's like
not on water.
Mixture of like,
it's weird. It's like there's this void that you go through that's completely wild and untamed. Jen, how do we tame it?
We'll have to watch to find out, I guess.
So, Jen, what were your thoughts? Because that was the best thing ever. You had like this big smile on your face, and she was literally like, "Oh no, you're one of them."
You liked it,
Caleb.
So. I thought the world building was amazing. The costumes were amazing. I was super interested, very different kind of concept. And yeah, I think the world building is going to be so interesting, but the plot is so basic. It's just like, there's a war and this chick, some prophecy. Oh my God, what is a sun eater or whatever the fuck, sun summoner? And then she just so happens to be one. I mean, it's just like, I can't play poker. Yeah. So I am interested. I'm definitely going to continue watching it for the world building and the costumes alone. But man, I hope they do something more interesting with the plot than, oh man, this thing it's so basic.
It is pretty basic.
I can see
basic bitches.
But the world building is what really just grabbed me. I just love the whole feel of it. It's just I can't wait to see more of what they do with that and more of what that weird void is. So,
but you know what saved him, right? A sun catcher. That's what they said at the end. God, you guys are such basic bitches. Damn.
That was it. Yeah.
Are you gonna watch it tonight, Caleb?
I don't know. How long are you going to be talking?
I don't know.
I think I might be done in 20 minutes.
Oh, shoot. Right? We'll go through everything in about 5 minutes now. What? Oh, Stone. Nice. No, I think it was, I liked it. The world building was great. I thought that was cool. I think everything was pretty basic, but that's one I'm definitely going to give. I wanted to watch. I would have binged it. If it was Saturday afternoon, I would have totally binged it.
Yeah.
No, there's so many shows lately. I watched the first one. I'm just like, I have no interest. But this one actually grabbed my interest enough that I'm ready to check out some more of it. So.
But, speaking of binging, though, I am sad. But for anyone that hasn't seen it, they need to binge this. Is the finale of Invincible. Aired or unlocked today on Amazon Prime, so you guys can watch that. So the last episode for this season is out. I thought it was really fun. I did. As a fan of the comic book, the character, more the fan of the concept. I didn't read all the comics. Like most people, I get through so many of them, and then you kind of stop. But I have to say they did a great job with the adaptation of that. Probably one of the best adaptations I've ever seen for a comic book to a screen. I don't know. You guys have been watching it. I don't know how far you're into it, but I mean, has it been enjoyable for you? Would you, if someone said, "Hey, should I watch it?" Would you say yes, Jen?
Oh yeah, for sure. I definitely have already recommended it to quite a few people. I haven't seen the finale. Like I said, I was getting kind of tired of the teenage romance triangle drama thing, but I feel like I say that all the time. I just wish there was like,
what is CW? This is a CW show?
I guess, yeah. So if it wasn't for like, it's really good though. It's really good.
Oh yeah,
I would. It's great. Definitely recommend it for sure.
All right, yeah, and I recommend everyone out there to check it out as well because it's pretty cool. And I'm not gonna lie, liked it. I liked it. I hope they do more. I hope it doesn't end there. But speaking of, you got comics being adapted, you got great comic creators. We have a great comic creator in this room, this screen, this stream. Our very own Caleb Thusat of Village Comics, man, who's got amazing books out there.
I have books.
You have books for all ages. You can please any mind.
I try.
So I mean, I gotta know, man. Tell people out there that aren't familiar with you. Let's talk about Village Comics. Let's talk about the books you have out there. How you got into it. How Jen should like it and stop talking crap about it behind your back. And really,
she's not gonna like any of it.
It's got too much. I know.
Actually, I have no teenage romance in any of mine. So actually, I might be okay. I
read Nook. I read all of it.
Yeah. And Nook is awesome, man. I like Nook. I love the art inside it, which I told you last time. I know Billy has an actual copy of it too. And he said, actually, we were talking about this the other day, and Billy was like, was it this morning? It might have actually been this morning. He's like, why didn't that kid put that in for an Eisner nomination? I was like, I don't know why he didn't do it. I said he probably just wasn't guided to do it or something. I don't know.
Because you gotta have the people that are gonna vote for it, man. I don't have enough of a following to get that Eisner Award. But,
that sounds like an excuse, Caleb.
I trust me that when the Neverland book comes out, that one's gonna be the one that wins an Eisner Award.
When do you think that'll be? When do you think that'll be coming out?
First issue is hopefully gonna drop this fall, so nice. We'll see. I'm probably going to be using the artist that did Nook, and he also did Flytrap, so he's actually finishing up artwork on Flytrap before I can get him to start on the other book. So it all depends on how fast he can start putting pieces together for me.
Nice.
But I like the team I have on that Flytrap book, the time travel one I just had on Kickstarter not that long ago. But I'm going to keep that team making stuff because he makes amazing line artwork. And then Robert Nugent does amazing colors for all kinds of different books, but he's huge on Source Point Press right now, like tons of books constantly coming out. I think he did Broken Gargoyles, which is like getting pushed for Eisner Awards and stuff too. So I'm trying to build a really solid team to keep making these books. But
nice. Yeah,
Nook, Nook's the one that kind of pulled us together through Billy and just through everything. And you guys had me on the crowdfunding comics show back in the day. But yeah, that's like my baby, man. That's like that was really the second big book that I dove into. I feel like it's the strongest of my writing so far. It's a really cool story that's inspired by Guillermo del Toro style movies like Pan's Labyrinth and Devil's Backbone. But I mean, I have an obsession with World War II stories.
I love that page.
This page right here
really stood out to me whenever I was reading it.
One of my favorite. Yeah.
How many times did you read it?
What?
Wonderful.
You said every time you read it.
I said the first time I read it. Did I say when I read it? I don't know. I only read it once.
So tell everyone what the book is about, because I know you're like myself and like Billy. We share our passion for many things related to World War II and that whole era. This is like your flagship book right now. I think until Flytrap comes out and everything else, and we get that book in our hand. It's a great book. It really is. Tell everyone though, like what is, if they buy this, what are they expecting to get? What's the story?
Yeah, so this is a story that's based partly on my family history and partly on really weird, demented horrific dreams I've had. So I kind of combined all that stuff together and made a story about a family escaping Germany right before World War II starts. And they move into this little house on the edge of France that they think, this nice little farmhouse on the edge of France. And their daughter is kind of confronted by this little cat, this ghost cat that's living in the house. And the cat kind of befriends her and starts revealing the history of the house to her. And we get like this really awesome flashback to World War I that kind of ties into the overall arcing meaning of this book, which is mainly we need to learn from our past to stop doing ridiculous things to each other and make the future better. So it's very much like, I always compare it to Pan's Labyrinth because it's like from the perspective of a small girl, but it's also from the perspective of this cat that kind of has seen all of this play out and sees how people will treat each other through these decades, basically between World War I and World War II. And she is confronted by this cat when she moves in. And it's just a very cool, crazy idea I had, tying World War II to World War I through the history of a haunted house, basically. And I had a lot of fun writing from that perspective. It was definitely way different to pull myself out of the typical white middle-aged guy going through stuff, which is my first book, really. But to put myself in the shoes of like a little girl, basically dealing with, you know, the horrors of what World War II brings to her. Yeah, the artwork, like Marcelo just did things I never thought of when I was writing it. He just took it to another level. So I love finding an artist that can do that and can kind of
I think
add
you captured
something.
the whole, you know, the ambience of everything, you know.
Yeah.
It's just, it feels haunted. The pages feel haunted, you know. And so when you're reading it, you almost get into that mood.
He made it like cute and haunting all at the same time with the way he drew the cat and with the way he captured the interactions. He blew my mind because the dude like started with making like basically like Power Rangers type like anime stuff. That was all he really was making before this, but he has a degree in art and he was like, I want to challenge myself with this comic. And, you know, I think having a relationship where you're constantly challenging each other just makes for a better book. So that's kind of what we did here. And then I brought him on to Flytrap, that time travel craziness that we did recently. And that's going to be amazing because just take that art from Nook and put Robert Nugent's colors on top of it. And it's just really fantastic. Yeah. And this is kind of harkens back to, I love like the use of time travel that's more like Back to the Future and Terminator, where it's like there's repercussions within your own timeline, not that there's like this kind of, I wrote it with a way where we're not dealing with like thousands of alternate realities. This is like one reality that gets altered. And this is the story of a guy who creates a time machine and he figures out from himself, from the future, that it's going to destroy the world. So he has to figure out a way to stop himself from creating it. So his crazy idea is to go back to the past and stop the inspiration for his creation from existing, which the inspiration for the time travel device is the movie The Fly with Jeff Goldblum. And so he's got to go back in time and stop that movie somehow from influencing him to create time travel. And so it's got like this weird, it's kind of fun, kind of funny. There's a lot of serious aspects to it as well, but I love to kind of mash up a weird genre and take I just took like Back to the Future and Terminator and flipped them on the side and made it a weird story about a scientist making time travel.
Nice. When are you looking to fulfill that? Because I can't wait to read that book.
It should be by the end of May that we're starting to get things out the door. So I have it up on the in-demand Indiegogo. I'm gonna leave it up there until probably the end of May, and then we'll close pre-orders. But
oh, you did transfer it over to Indiegogo?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'll Herrenberg, if you're in the chat still, can you put the link to the Indiegogo in the chat? And I'll add that to the description of the show. So down below, where you'll find other links and that subscribe button and the bell.
It looks like you already dropped it too. So
perfect. We'll get that into the description. I didn't realize you did the transfer over, so that's awesome.
Yeah, it's on there. You can't get everything. One of the covers was Kickstarter exclusive. It was the Back to the Future parody cover. But you can get the Joe St. Pierre cover still, which is
What's up, Dave?
Another exclusive variant, and he's done covers for so many Spider-Man books. He gave us a really awesome nostalgic cover, sci-fi cover for this one. So
nice. And then all your other books and everything, they can head on over to the store at Village Comic. It's at www.villagecomicbooks.com, which you can find in the description of this live stream. And you can head over to the store tab and you can get a copy of Nook, Afterlife, the complete series hardcover. You've got Zed's out of stock.
Zed's gone, man. Yeah, I had the issue ones were gone. Issue 2, I think I might have a couple issue 2s laying around, but I did a double issue that we did black and white because we actually transferred to color for the second one to see how that would go. But we ended up, I did it collected as a 1 and 2, and they're gone. Like I had a bunch that were being sold during the last Kickstarter with Flytrap, and now they are gone. So I don't know if I'm going to be printing that one again anytime soon, but we'll see.
Do you have it digital though for purchase?
You can get it on Comixology, I believe, and Amazon. I do not have that. I don't know. I think you can get the first issue for free just for signing up for my email list on the website as well.
Nice. All right, excellent, man. Well, hey, everyone out there, when you get a chance, check out Village Comics, Caleb Thusat's publishing company, where he's producing his books. You've got Nook, Afterlife still available. Flytrap will be.
Can I say one more thing about the books?
Of course.
Just so people know that these are like hardcover with UV coating. Like this is what you're getting is not like a little paperback book. This is like fully hardcover. It's like a special edition. I put in all kinds of extra stuff in the back, conceptual stuff. All the fun stuff I like to get when I buy a hardcover book, but it was all about the hand feel we were talking about. I like the feel of the solid book. It's going to last, and you stick it on the shelf, take it off the shelf. These books are made to be read over and over again, and I tried to write stories that you'll want to read again, because they have depth to them. So I wanted to make them high quality hardcover books. So all the books that you get, the Alter Life, Nook, and this Supercast one, which you can't get on my website, but you can get if you get a hold of me.
Who's
because
this guy?
I can't sell stuff off of I can't sell Super Cats online anymore since I got a publishing deal for that one, but which is a good and bad thing. But so yeah, just I try to strive the quality of things. So just know that for $15, like I knocked this book down in price for everybody recently, and for $30, you're getting both of them hardcover books for just $30. Like I was selling Alter Life for $30 by itself for a long time. So,
and I will say about Nook. So the art style is a little cartoony, but man, there are some like dark moments that I was just like, oh wow, that like totally shocked me. And so I really liked that actually. So awesome. I can definitely vouch for Nook for sure.
So it had some deep moments.
Yes, it did.
Nice. No, it's a good book, man.
Thanks.
Are you gonna do anything else along those lines? Do you think you'll ever go down that dark path?
I have something that I've been messing around with based on some other crazy dreams I had over the past year. So it's kind of like a cult mystery. So definitely something in the cards for the dark stuff. But right now I'm kind of focusing a lot on the Neverland book. I have like 3 Super Cats books I'm working on. And I have another Crazy Kids book that I'm working on that's like about video games.
Nice.
Which I've always been obsessed with. But
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, now to wrap up our comic book segment, let's just touch base real quick. I know this was kind of right up your alley, Caleb. With this book, we held off a week from reviewing it. And let's dive into, man. What were your thoughts? Actually, or Jen, if you want to go first, what were your thoughts on Jules Verne's Lighthouse issue 1?
I thought it was okay. Like, I thought the art was really interesting. It kind of had like a Borderlands kind of feel to it. Like the cell shaded, like it kind of looks like CGI, like animated. It doesn't look like necessarily drawn. So I thought like the art was really interesting. I read it a week ago, and honestly, like I don't really remember that much about it. So it's kind of like, was it really that good then?
I feel you.
Yeah. So
I was a little. I gotta say the selling point, like when you look at the synopsis of it, I was like, this sounds really cool. Like the lighthouse that's like for interplanetary travel. Like the whole idea was awesome.
That was interesting for sure.
The artwork did not do it for me, really.
The artwork was a little. It's a little. I'm trying to.
It's like almost unfinished to me.
Yeah,
the way that it looks. It's like an unfinished video game or something. You know what I mean? Like they didn't get the textures all filled in or something. I don't know. Something about it.
It's almost like there's too much. Like they didn't. Like they started the flats and then they started like detailing in the rest of the the highlights and shadows. I feel like there's the dark lines are too thin. That they didn't finish rendering the shadows properly. There's a depth to this that just like it's weird though, because like then I look at this panel right with the rover and I'm like, that looks cool, but again it's like there's like a level that's missing. I don't know what they're trying to
it's
do.
Almost a lot of times it just feels like a lot of they just did all the panels separately. Was this a webtoon first and then they took all the pieces and put them together in a, you know what I mean? Like it just it didn't feel structured quite like a comic book should be. And this seemed a little messy. And then between the art not doing it for me and it just, I personally try to write with science fiction and everything that I try to write. I make the images tell the story, and then my words are only to complement that story as much as needed.
Yeah. And
I know dealing with concepts in science fiction, that's hard to do sometimes, but I felt like there was just a lot to take in. When that's to Jen's point, it's like I read this a week ago and I don't remember much of it. I remember the general concept of it and like where it was going, but like I don't know if it's enough to make me want to keep going with it. So
yeah, I was go ahead, Jen.
Just something else that kind of bothered me is like I kind of thought like the robot was like a little interesting, kind of funny, but then they like use him to give you the main character's backstory. He's kind of like, oh, I shouldn't be talking about this. And he keeps talking about it, and it's just like seems so forced to like put that in there.
That's always not a good way to do things.
Yeah.
Show don't tell, right? Like that's what you want to do with a visual medium. And if you're just feeding us everything with dialogue, and it's just not exactly, maybe this would work better as a show or something. You know what I mean? It's just there's a lot going on, and to try to force it down with a bunch of dialogue is very hard to do.
There was a lot of dialogue to
there was a lot.
Which again, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. Is it just I'm not like? Is that the unintellectual side of me with comics? Like I like reading, but I need my when it comes to a comic book, a graphic novel, I need a healthy balance of dialogue and imagery. Like I need it to work well. You know, if I'm watching TV and I'm listening to someone talk, then it's different than
Exactly.
reading it, because then I'm
Yeah.
so, you know, I'm reading and reading and reading, and then I have to like look back at my panels, and like I feel like I'm not in. It's just, it wasn't a good balance.
Well, you have reaction and face and everything.
Yeah.
When you see somebody talking, but when it's a panel that's just a ton of dialogue and it's like 2 images, like your focus is, it's like, where do I keep my focus? And you don't really get anything out of that dialogue, except it feels like they're forcing a bunch of stuff down.
Yeah, I do like the design though of the robot. I think it's clever. I think it's, you know, a good take on that. Again, I think a lot of the art is pretty good. It just almost seems unfinished. Like they were trying to go for, I don't know, it almost like reminds me of like, remember like the mid to late 90s like CGI TV shows where it's like very little detail. Like that's what this reminds me of. Like there's detail here, but there's something that's just,
you're like, this is Paw Patrol, man. This is just Paw Patrol.
yeah, not even Paw Patrol's got more detail. What was that? Was it Spark or something? I don't know. They like lived in like a computer. I don't know. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but I don't know why I'm getting that vibe from this. Just the way the characters are designed and everything. But
maybe
I had my hopes up, man. I really had my hopes up on this. I think a little more action. Maybe if the coloring was done a little differently, I would have gravitated more to this. I definitely was like, oh my gosh, this looks really cool. Let's throw it out to the group. Let's all read it and give our thoughts. You know, this didn't come recommended. This was something that I had found. I was looking for a good sci-fi book. And the ratings, you know, from the reviews I did read about it, people, you know, it did come pretty, you know, I don't want to say highly recommended, but there was more good than bad out there.
Well, like I said, the concept itself is cool.
Yeah.
But I feel like it just didn't hit the notes for me.
Yeah. And what does Stone say? So marketing a novel to comic book readers is a super bad idea. LOL. You needed that input, not.
No.
That's not.
No,
because even
a novel's a novel.
Different. It's a different thing because JC Vaughn's doing a novel.
JC just did his novel and talking about.
And I read novels. I buy novels. Novels are different because they're written differently. Okay.
Yeah.
A comic book's written more like a script. All right. And that's actually what they call it. Is not, you know, it's your script. And a novel's just, it's written differently. So you can read a novel and it works. If you try to put that much dialogue into a comic, it's not going to work.
There's a trick to pacing the dialogue with the imagery in a comic. And if you don't hit that balance right, just like you were talking about, it's either an art book or it's a comic book that's boring. So
yeah, definitely. And Stone, I mean, I'm sure you do understand that, but it's two different worlds, and you get more. You know, novels you get really deep into. I love reading novels.
I'm gonna step back a little bit on that though, because like I love Alan Moore's Watchmen, and that is filled with writing.
That's true. That's true.
But here's the thing. It's really good writing. So you have to, if you're going to put that much writing in there, it has to be something that's extremely compelling.
But the balance, though, in that book works.
Because he does have a lot of panels per page and everything.
Yeah.
The characters are really strong, too. So that dialogue actually helps the character flesh out. It's not just like meaningless. And it's not, we need to like hint at their backstory, so let's throw a whole bunch of like random shit in there. It's all like meaningful, purposeful. It's like a graphic novel.
Exactly. So if you guys are looking for a good sci-fi book, I do recommend giving it a read, because you know there were a few things like I don't regret reading it at all. I probably will get the second issue just to kind of see where the story evolves. Maybe I'll get more action. I feel like that's just been the theme lately with a lot of new media, is like these, you know, the first movie or the first book or the first episode is just, I feel like things are taking longer, but I'm wondering if that's like a trend, right? Because we have the binge style, like everyone wants the binge style, you know, really, you know, directors, writers.
I feel like it's becoming a crutch though. Like people are leaning on that.
That's where I'm getting, that's the point I'm getting to. It's like, I think because people are like, oh, well, I have 12 episodes to tell my story. So the movie I would have been pushing for that would only be, you know, 2 hours on the screen. I now can do, you know, potentially 12 hours worth of material that gets aired, and they make it so you can binge it so things can be that way. I feel like that's a, you know, a crutch right now.
I honestly was thinking about this when I watched Mortal Kombat and we just lately been watching a lot of shows and stuff, and I'm thinking, like, is making a 2-hour movie like becoming a lost art at this point?
I think so. I was thinking that when we were talking about Mortal Kombat just a little while ago. I'm like maybe the style is just dying.
What do you think? They should do longer or shorter?
No, I think the problem is I think the method of storytelling visually on the screen, I think, has changed because people can binge stuff. So it's like when we watch these movies, if we weren't able to binge, would we still feel a certain way about these things, right? Because now someone's trying to tell a story in an hour and 58 minutes, where if they decided to make it like a Netflix series, we could have that same story told in 12 hours through an hour or 45-minute episode.
Series. We have so many series of everything. It's like you go back from watching 12 hours of something that you can have an amazing story because you have 12 hours to make it. If you go to watch a 2-hour movie, like, is it going to ever be as compelling as what you can do with 12 hours? Like, it
totally can if it's purposeful. Like if the dialogue is meaningful to the characters, like you can use all that to flesh stuff out. But it's always just seems like such a waste.
I just feel like
everything seems so rushed.
Losing that.
Well, it can be done, right? I think Jen's 100% right. It can be done, right? But is it that the craft is being changed in the new artistic creators coming in, the new directors that maybe weren't producing in an era where that was more prominent? Is it almost like a dying trade, like the style of it? Or
I'm afraid of that because I love movies, man.
Yeah. Oh no, I do too. I mean, I watch a lot of movies, but I watch a lot of older movies, you know, because a lot of the new stuff I really haven't gravitated towards a lot of it.
But I think also a lot of series now I watch, I'm like, okay, that could have been a 3-hour movie. Like they didn't need to make this like 12 episodes. But like,
very true. I think
Looper is like my biggest argument with that. That is like the one movie that I was like, man, that should have just been like a 12 episode like TV show because of like all the backstory and like all the world creation. And then it just like is lame and then ends. And you're like, oh, such a cool concept. But we didn't really get to delve into that like at all.
No, and I don't know, we'll see. I don't know. I think I think even with the pandemic and everything, things were just
there's still creators out there that can make a movie. It's just I feel like between the society kind of gravitating to binge society and then the pandemic hitting, it's like everybody was like, let's just make series or let's just make like animated stuff, and it's like these movies are just, we got blockbuster movies that work as 2-hour things because they're like little snippet stories, right? But it's like, can we have like a solid, just like good 2-hour movie anymore? I don't know. I feel like I don't know the last movie I watched that's a 2-hour movie that I actually like want to watch again.
I was actually talking about that yesterday. It's like trying to think of new movies, and it's like I can't remember the last time like a good movie came out.
That's very weird.
No, it's horrible, guys. It's horrible. What are we gonna do?
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Let's make a movie.
Yeah, let's make a movie.
Oh yeah, awesome. But
Nile's not into that. Apparently, he's like, "Oh yeah." So
I was about to say something. I'm like, that might be too much. Never mind.
Oh, God, here we go.
Nah, I'm bringing it back to PG for a minute. Back to PG. But maybe we just need to take a break from things. You know, maybe we need to get our cameras out, right? Explore a little bit. Maybe take a snap. I don't know. Maybe find a little Jigglypuff in the bush. I'm not sure. You know, we got a little Jigglypuff with us tonight, and there's something that's coming out that I think Jen's pretty excited for, and that's the new Pokemon Snap. Do you remember the Nintendo 64 days?
Yeah.
Hitting the trail and getting the picture of Pikachu and Charizard? No?
Doesn't know about that?
You don't know about that?
I was never into Pokemon anything, man. It just never was.
Oh, man.
It's just never. All I played was Zelda and Mario back in the day, dude.
Heck yeah. We should do power tool talk. I got a bunch of new power tools. Maybe next week, Jasper playing 9. Maybe next week. But yeah, so Snap's out. So what are you gonna? So were you a big player of the 64 version, Jen?
I did definitely play it because it was like at the time that I was really obsessed with Pokemon. I was in like the 4th grade when that all started. So I got my Game Boy and was playing Pokemon Red, and I got like all the book fairs. I got the how to draw Pokemon, like everything Pokemon, the cards and the movies and all that stuff. But that's kind of where it ended for me. I'm definitely like only interested in the original 150, so I haven't been keeping up with it like since then. So I will not get this new one just because I know it's going to have like a whole bunch of Pokemon that I don't personally. Pokemon's a nostalgia thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not something that I really ever cared about after they started releasing like new stuff. So
is Pokemon like what Batman the Animated Series is to me? Like it's just like my nostalgia thing. Is that like Pokemon to you, Jen?
I'm definitely not like obsessed with it. I
was obsessed with Batman.
My favorite.
Whoa!
What?
I didn't say I was obsessed with Batman the Animated Series. I was just talking like it's like one of my nostalgic things.
I don't believe you. I think it's your favorite thing in the whole world.
He has bed sheets.
I did. How did you know? Me and my wife sleep in separate twin beds, and I have Batman sheets on my twin bed.
Oh no.
N64, Star Fox, GoldenEye, Simpler Days. Oh my gosh, Simpler Days indeed.
I was a perfect Dark fan. I don't know about this.
That was a fun game. That was cool.
So many hours of GoldenEye.
But I mean, Pokemon though is like it's like a culture. It really is. Like I mean, it blew up in this. It's a huge multi-billion-dollar franchise. You know, I remember. You know, I'm a little older than you. You know, I think I was like in 6th grade when all that stuff hit the fan, and you know, I had the red, the blue. You know, I remember when it came out, like Game Boy Color was like blowing my mind. There was a Game Boy Color. What? Yeah. What is this? What is this magic? This sorcery? And I mean, it's such a cool thing. But what is really cool about Pokemon is what cosplayers are doing with it and their interpretation of it. And you know, Jen has, you know, brings some great stuff to our attention, and you know, she takes polls, right? You're doing polls with your fans, and kind of like, you know, what's out there, what are they liking to see, you know, some creative stuff. I mean, and right off the bat, I mean, we're going to start off with our own, right? We got to start off with our own right here, and I mean, we got Jen's Jigglypuff.
My Jigglypuff Spice. So I was obsessed with the Spice Girls, so I thought, you know, my favorite girl group singers make it into a Jigglypuff. You know, I like doing like combo stuff, and this I made in just like a few hours. I just kind of threw this together. I really just wanted to practice with my lights and try to do like a stage kind of thing. So yeah, I just threw that together. It was fun. Yeah, I made the microphone is actually a crayon that you use on skin. So I did actually use, like, it wasn't a marker, but it's a crayon to draw. And I just put a styrofoam ball that I painted on top. So yeah, simple.
Now, are those Jigglypuff ears like ones you had to get, or did you make those Jigglypuff ears?
I made those. They're just craft and felt. They're not really anything like cool or fancy, but they work.
That's cool. And then we've got Jessica Nigri and her concept, which is awesome.
Yeah. Jessica Nigri, this is her Cubone, but she's done, I don't know, like 10 or 15 different Pokemon costumes. Actually, her first costume she ever did was Pikachu, and that's kind of where she super blew up. That was like a really big popular thing. So she's kind of like the OG Pokemon cosplayer, and now she does like really badass huge suits of armor. And whenever it's called a Gajinka, whenever you do like an animal and make it into like a humanoid costume, it's called a Gajinka. So she's she's very, very well known for her Pokemon stuff.
Oh, that's
and they're all good, every single one of them.
I didn't know that there was actually a term for that. That's pretty cool. That's neat. And then we have Bindo Gek with Totodile.
Yeah, that's a water Pokemon. And I think she did that for a convention it's at a water park. So that's kind of like the thing everybody does, like water costumes. And so She's done a few different Pokemon too. Definitely a fan favorite. Bendo is really awesome. She's a really cool chick. She streams on Twitch and stuff. Very active in her community. She's really cool.
Oh, very nice. And then next up, we've got Mink the Satire with Dratini. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Dratini? This is cool. This looks great.
Yeah.
This was photographed by Eric Westall Photography.
Yeah, I had never heard of this cosplayer before, but a photographer friend of mine, when I asked my audience who are some awesome cosplayers that do Pokemon, he recommended her, and she's done quite a few like Pokemon cosplays too. And like her Taurus is really great, her Ninetales is really great. She's done, and they're all like really elaborate, great fabric choices, lots of detail. She's really awesome.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I love the costume that she has there. I thought it was really cool. At first, I thought it was, when I looked real quick, I was like, oh, is it like a take on Squirtle? And then I realized it wasn't.
There are other water Pokemon than Squirtle. He's the coolest one, though, because his name is Squirtle. You got to say it like that.
Oh, I understand, Heronberg. Unfortunately, Pokemon, it's not near and dear to the heart. as it should be, and then next up, let me head right over into these photos here. We have Akiaga,
I think.
Akiaga,
or yeah, I'm not seeing it, but yeah.
And Surfetched.
Yes, was one of the, not the original 150, so I wasn't super familiar with it, but his like little picture is really cute. It's like a little bird duck thing with like a little sword and shield, super cute. Jessica Negri actually made the sword and the shield too, but like her wig and her chest piece and everything look really great. I love the gemstones and all the green colors. She does quite a few Pokemon stuff too, actually.
Yeah, Jessica Negri, I mean, she does really awesome props.
Oh, yeah, for sure. She's pretty much like great at everything. All of her stuff is really cool.
Now, this is a group photo, and this is the Valkyrie Evolutions.
The Evolutions. Yeah.
So this, you can get all their credits for all the cosplayers seeing. You're going to get all their links, their credits, their social media is in the description below. But this is freaking far out. Like, this is so cool with the costumes that they made.
Yeah, Eevee is one of the original 150 costumes, and there were, I think, 3 Evolutions to begin with, and then as they started adding new Pokemon, they did more Evolutions, and so like there just has one is like a water, one's a fire, one's like a shadow, stuff like that. And so they did like a Valkyrie version of it, and they all have, you can't see them in the pictures, but they all actually have these huge like awesome weapons to go along with the costumes as well. So cool. I definitely recommend checking out the links that you're going to put, because there will be like the individual photos of them, and every single costume is like so amazing, so detailed, like really great craftsmanship. Even their wigs and makeup are all like really awesome. And Noelle is her last name. She designed like all of the costumes. You can see like all her sketches and things like that. And Zach Fisher actually designed all of the weapons that they used also. But all these costumes were made by the people wearing them. So just like a really talented group for sure.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. And again, you guys, the link for that's there. You can check out the full credits and everything over at the Tumblr. There'll be a link for that. And yeah, you've got Eevee, Vaporeon, Jolteon, Espion, Flareon, Umbreon, Leafeon, Glaceon, Sylveon. Man,
that's a
I
lot.
wonder how many more Eevees there's going to be. But no, that's cool. I have so much respect. Like, that's like, you're wearing your art. I don't know how you do that, Jen. That's crazy. Like all that work and effort, like put into these costumes and stuff. Like, it's incredible. And the detail, you guys, you know, all the cosplayers out there. I mean, I have so much respect for what you guys do. It's like words can't describe like that. And then the confidence to actually go out and rock it, you know, that's freaking, that's awesome.
It's like Halloween, but like all the time. And I think that's what's really cool about, it's so visual. So, you know, it's not like you have a book and you got to like get people to read, and like it's so visual that, you know, being at a convention, somebody can see you from like, 4 aisles away, and they'll like literally chase you down because you're like their favorite character. But I look at all these cosplays and I'm like, I made my Jigglypuff in like a few hours, and then I see like these awesome like evolutions that I know they spent like months on just getting like all these details and stuff like that. So I really have tons of respect for people that can spend like months working on. I get real bored of stuff real fast. So my thing is, if I can't make something in 3 days, then I probably will never finish it. So yeah, just knowing that, you guys can put in like months and months of work and details and just make it, and then have like a whole super awesome product at the end of it is so cool.
Yeah, but then there is also that respect of like, you did that quickly, but it looks like you spent a lot of time doing that.
Oh, thanks. I got that dress on clearance for $3. I just really liked the fabric, and then I just made it sluttier by cutting the cleavage and the hide slit on the side. So yeah, I just kind of slut everything up. It's fine.
Slut it up. Oh wow, we just got 10,000 viewers. Hashtag slut it up on the POPXP. Woo! No, but that's cool. Thanks for bringing that stuff. I really like that you're taking the time to put this together, because I really do, like, no joke. I think it's like cosplay blows my mind. Even when I'm at conventions, like, besides the fact like, whoa, that's awesome. Like, you do look at it and you're like, wow, that is awesome. Like, some of the stuff people bring to life, and it's so cool to see the fans loving it. Especially, I love seeing kids. Like, because like some of them, like, they don't realize like that's not like this is fake. Like, to them, it's like, oh my god, that's really Batman. That's really Superman. You know, that's really Pikachu. That's like, you know, they go around in such awe. And it's cool though that, like, you know, there's people out there like yourself that actually bring the characters to life. Like, and you're doing it out of the pure joy that you want to do it. It's not like someone's like, hey, this is a good idea, you should try doing this, let me help you do it. Like, you're doing it because you want to. So that makes it even all the better.
Yeah, my favorite thing to do is concept. Like, I love to do mashups, since I can't really draw very well, but I have an entire notebook of like me drawing mashups of like different costumes. And I actually probably like designing stuff more than I actually like making it, because I get real stressed out if I don't know how to do something. And so, and I hate whenever stuff is symmetrical, because I hate making the same thing twice, because then one is always better than the other, and I can't like unsee that. So yeah, it's really cool. Just, I mean, like, I have compared myself to like indie artists before, because I just feel like I kind of take things in a different direction than most people are like used to. So that can be really hit or miss. Sometimes people are like, oh no, that's way too far off what I expect it to be. But a lot of people, you know, like, I did a crossover between Metal Gear Solid and Princess Peach, and I had like the grenades, but they were bob-ombs, and a grenade launcher, but it was Bullet Bill, and like nobody gave a shit about that costume, like at all. Nobody cared, but I was like, man, this is like such a cool concept crossover, and like nobody cared about it. But
the mashup idea, that's
pretty cool.
It's always great.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Keep on sharing it, please. Keep you know, finding things that come up, and we can keep sharing. And I just want to thank everyone for tuning in again for another you know, the weekend. What?
Wait, you didn't show my Pokemon Snap.
What?
I rolled around in the grass to get these pictures. You better show them.
You want to show them?
I want to show you guys my Pokemon Snap that I did in real life.
Do you mean the wild Pokemons in your world?
Yes. In my yard, I found some wild Pokemon. Well, just one, but.
Excellent. Why isn't this popping up? Everyone, hang on.
Don't leave yet. You have to see my awesome photography skills. I had to put my dogs inside because they wouldn't stop trying to eat them.
Okay, here we go. Is everyone ready?
I was just having such a good time in my yard, just doing a little photo shoot of all my Pikachus. I have quite a few. So that was, look how happy it is.
Oh, he's a happy one. That's a happy little Pikachu. Did he eat his whole apple? He ate the apple. Oh,
thanks, Jimmy.
Oh, now he's sleeping.
Look. Yes, I had to go real early because the lawn guy was coming, and I was like, "No, please, my weeds! Like, I need them for a picture."
Jeez, how does your lawn grow?
What?
All the weeds.
Looks like my lawn.
I love the weed flowers. It's so pretty. So there you go. There's my Pokemon Snap in real life. I don't need to play the video game. I got grass. I can go roll around.
She has her friends come over and they randomly hide the Pokemon, and then she comes out with her camera.
Oh my god, that would be so much fun! Oh my god, I'm gonna do that. That would be so fun.
It's gonna be like a scavenger hunt for her.
That would be so cool. We should totally do that.
You should do it. Get a GoPro and wear it like with the band, so we can like see firsthand of like the movement of like. She's like, "Oh my god, it's a Squirtle!" And then her friends like just squirting little water from behind. And she throws her Pokeball and takes a picture.
My face hurts. That would seriously, I would have.
And then when they're done, they'll have Uncrustables for lunch.
I would love that.
Oh my god.
But we got something cool. Are you guys a fan of Bone by any chance? Bone Comics?
Yeah.
Jeff Smith?
Yeah.
Jeff Smith? Well, we've got Jeff Smith coming on tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, I'm sorry. Oh my god, what am I talking about? Tuesday night, May 4th. We've got Jeff Smith. Now, this is an old promo, but I'm just putting this up. This is, you guys can check on the channel right now. I am Jeff Smith. We did a great interview with him, but he's launching his very first crowdfunding campaign on Kickstarter for TUCCI'S, which is an online web comic he was doing. I mean, he is world famous for Bone. It's one of the, it's now being done.
Campaign, people.
I'm curious to see how it's going to go. I mean, Bone is huge. Bone is huge. It was huge in the indie scene. It was huge in, now Scholastic bought it, so it's huge in schools and stuff like that. So it's published through that. I mean, that literally has grabbed like all age groups. So if you guys aren't familiar with Bone, check it out. It's actually a really cool book. It looks very cartoony, but the material in there is all ages, honestly. But TUCCI'S going to be pretty crazy, so I think it's going to be cool. Check it out. There'll be promos going. May 4th, we're going live at 9 p.m. with Jeff Smith, and we'll also have some other famous creators on to pop in and say hello and wish him luck on his very first crowdfunding campaign. And you guys, before we go, do either of you two have anything you want to promote or any links or anything anyone needs to go to so that they can follow everything you guys are doing?
Well, next week we are talking Resident Evil Village. And so I am working, it's a closet cosplay. So it's something that I've only worked on for like 3 hours just to make a couple of the accessories, and everything else is just going to be stuff that I had. But I'm thinking about wearing it on the show.
What?
We'll see how it comes out. I'm going to do a photo shoot on Tuesday. So hopefully I have time to edit some of those pictures, but I thought about wearing it on the stream next Friday. So stay tuned to see if I actually do it or not.
What? I'm gonna wear cosplay too.
Yeah, you should. Be a zombie.
Ooh, I want to be a zombie. Eating stuff like zombies do. What about you, Caleb?
Hey, my thing is get that Flytrap book before I pull it off pre-order. It's only going to be up there probably till the end of May. And if you like time travel, I love time travel stories. It's like a little love letter to that nostalgic style of time travel. So flytrapcomic.com, easy enough.
Perfect. Everyone grab that before it goes off of demand, and then you'll never be able to get it again. Well, you'll have it in the store for a while, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So everyone have a great night. Jen, did you have something else?
I was just going to say, because I guess I'm allowed to mention OnlyFans. I'm going to be hanging out on my OnlyFans like around 11 for like an hour or two and just hang out and talk about the show. Usually we talk about our opinions, read some like fan comments and go back and forth. And I'm going to be eating some sour stuff. Since we're not doing it on the show, I bought a whole bunch of sour candy. So I'm going to eat some sour stuff. You want to see if we hopefully is not too sour. Hopefully we'll see. But yeah, that'll be around 11.
How do you do with sour stuff? Like, are you like really bad with it where it's like the eyes are watering and your face hurts?
Yeah, I guess I just like go. I don't want to make the face. No,
Oh, don't make the no. We can't. Yeah, don't make the face, everyone.
No, I don't. No, I don't really enjoy anything sour like at all. Even like cocktails, I always have to tell them like nothing sour, nothing tart. I'm not like a fan of that. It always hurts my mouth. I don't like it.
Yeah. It does that. It like seizes the tongue muscles. If you know what that means. You ever get that like weird pain?
Oh
like,
yeah,
yeah. It's like you take the sip and you're like, ooh. It's almost like when you get a chill up your spine, but it's like your jaw.
Yeah. I don't like
I've had it happen. It's weird. So yeah, everyone head on over to her OnlyFans. If you're bored on her OnlyFans and you really want a spicy good time, I'll be on my OnlyFans eating fire.
Oh wow.
I will be eating fire.
Way to show me up. I got
Just
boobs
saying.
though, and you don't, so
Well, technically I do. But if I squeeze them together far enough or close enough, it gets something. That's how I hold my microphone.
Oh.
What? All right, everyone. Have yourselves a great night. Jen, it's been a blast. Caleb, it was awesome. Can't wait to do it with you guys again next week. And we'll see everyone next week on many different streams. But if you're coming for this one, we'll see you on next Friday at 9 p.m. for another The Week in Pop. Everyone have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
See ya. Hey everyone, thank you for joining us on POPXP. If you haven't already, make sure to click that subscribe button and also click the bell for notifications when we go live and we upload some awesome new content. Also, don't forget to head on over to Twitter and follow us at the POPXP and over on Instagram at the POPXP. Thanks again everyone, and we'll see you soon.